From Radio Iowa Sports, this is the Scouting Report, an in-depth look at this week's prep and college games. Now from our studios in Des Moines, Todd Kim.
The Cyclones try to snap a losing skid when they host Arizona State. Another tough road test for UNI, while Drake takes the lead in the Pioneer football race to Butler. And it's the round of 16 in the high school playoffs. That and more on the Scouting Report.
Okay, gonna be late. Gotta go. Where'd I put... wallet. Check. And... phone. Check. Keys. Check. Lunch. Check.
Checking for the things you need doesn't take long. But what about checking for your safety? Right now, 1 in every 5 vehicles on the road has an open safety recall. But it only takes seconds to check for open recalls on your car at checktoprotect.org. All you need is your vehicle identification number or license plate number. Your automaker may not have the right information to notify you about recalls by mail, especially if you recently moved or drive an older or used car. Checktoprotect.org is the quick, easy way to find out if your vehicle has an open safety recall and find the closest dealer who can make the repair for free.
Laptop. Check.
Before you go, take a minute. Visit checktoprotect.org. Check to Protect is a program of the National Safety Council.
Radio Iowa Sports.
A 3-game losing skid has all but ended Iowa State's chance to return to the Big 12 championship game. But Coach Matt Campbell has always said teams are defined by how they play in November, so there is still a lot to play for as the Cyclones get set to host Arizona State. After giving up more than 400 yards in a loss to BYU, the ISU defense will face a backup quarterback. Sun Devil star Sam Levitt has been ruled out, so former Nebraska and Georgia Tech quarterback Jeff Sims will direct the ASU offense.
Him and Sam probably have some similarities. They both are elite runners with the football. They can create in the pocket. They've got the ability to run the offense. And, I'll give Kenny a lot of credit. I think he's done a great job of having a great 1-2 punch at quarterback. Both those guys can run the system and run the offense. And then, obviously, they've got great playmakers around them. So I think it really helps.
Iowa State coach Matt Campbell, the Sun Devils beat the Cyclones 45-19 in last year's Big 12 title contest.
We're going to face a team that, is going to be, one, angry from what happened last year. And this was a game that, they've had circled for a while. And then 2, hungry because they just played a really, really good football game and still didn't win, but they played way good enough to win. So and we're on the road. They've lost, I think, 1 home game, and they're like us. They're very good at winning at home. Their first loss at home was last week.
Arizona State coach Kenny Dillingham. It's a noon kickoff in Jack Trice Stadium. It'll be televised by TNT. UNI has another tough road test as the Panthers visit 18th-ranked Illinois State. The Panthers are 0-4 in the Missouri Valley, 2-6 overall. The Redbirds will be their 5th straight ranked opponent.
We haven't put together a 60-minute game yet in any phase, really, and so why not? Why not this weekend? And that's what our team is thinking. Why not this weekend to get this thing turned around?
That's UNI coach Todd Stepsis. Jackson Daly will get his first start at quarterback for the Panthers. And Drake takes the outright lead in the Pioneer Football League race into the final month of the season. It begins tomorrow at Butler. Drake is 4-0 in the conference race. Butler is a game back at 3-1. Up next, high school football. On the Scouting Report.
Okay, men, this is your time. Maybe you didn't choose this, but you're here now. You're gonna go out there and be an all-star caregiver. It's up to you. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna go grocery shopping, cook, clean, be there emotionally and physically. You gotta dig deeper. Drive them to physical therapy, doctor's appointments. Don't you forget about the pharmacy. I know you won't, because that's what caregivers do. Don't give up. Don't ever give up. This is your time to show the world, your family, and yourself that you're tougher than tough. Now go out there and be the best caregiver this world has ever seen.
Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
The Scouting Report from Radio Iowa Sports.
The high school football playoffs begin tonight in the three largest classes, and there will be a rated matchup in Dubuque in 3A as 5th-ranked Wahlert Catholic hosts number 6 Central DeWitt. Gary Detterman has a preview.
These district rivals met in Week 6 at the Golden Eagles home field, and Wahlert Catholic came away with a 17-12 victory on their way to a 5-0 district record. Central DeWitt second-year coach Clay Waterbury on his takeaway from that game.
We've obviously watched that tape a lot over the last week of that game, and we didn't feel like we executed at a high level at all. So our game plan is completely different this time going through, and we feel like we're going to be able to go up there and execute at a higher level and hopefully come out with a win. But it was a battle, and like you said, the biggest thing I was proud of is just our kids' heart in that whole game. So I think, the nice thing is we're going to go up there with the mindset and the belief that we can get the job done.
Central DeWitt back in the playoffs and opening with the defending champions in Class 3A, Wahlert Catholic. For the Radio Iowa Scouting Report, Gary Detterman, KROS, Clinton, Iowa.
Also in 3A, top-ranked Clear Lake opens at home against Mount Vernon. It's number 2 Solon hosting Benton, while 3rd-ranked Sioux Center is at home against Des Moines Christian. In Class 4A, it's top-ranked Cedar Rapids Xavier at home against Waverly Shell Rock. 2nd-ranked Sergeant Bluff Luton hosts Lamar's, while 3rd-ranked and unbeaten Gilbert opens the playoffs at home against Lewis Central. In 5A, after spending a good portion of the season top-ranked, number 5 Waukee Northwest opens the postseason by hosting Indianola. Dar Danielson will call the game for the Central Iowa Sports Network.
Waukee Northwest was unbeaten and ranked number 1 in Class 5A until a 3-point upset loss at a packed stadium in Week 8 to crosstown rival Waukee. The Wolves bounced back to win their final regular season game and now look to get back on a roll in the playoffs as they seek to bring home the city's first ever football title. Indianola overcame the loss of their leading rusher and finished the season 6-3. Coach Eric Kluver says they're taking the nothing-to-lose approach and trying to keep their season going. He says they have to be able to move the ball against the Wolves to stay close and keep the ball away from their big playmaking offense. For Radio Iowa Sports, I'm Dar Danielson.
Also in 5A, top-ranked Dowling Catholic plays host to Waterloo West. It's number 2 Iowa City Liberty at home against Waukee, while 3rd-ranked Sioux City East opens at home against Dallas Center Grimes. This season, Bex is recognizing student-athletes that are not only a star in athletics, but a player that shows heart in school, at work, through the community, and in the ag industry. Creston's Cadley Bailey started her own cattle herd with her sisters at the age of 8.
We own about 40 head of purebred Simmental cattle we bought when we were younger, and we showed them all throughout their showtime life. We breed them, AI them, and we sell their offspring, the bulls and steers, to the sale barn, and then we keep back the replacement heifers to replace our herd. Bishop Garrigan's Carter Schwab got an early start working on a farm that's been in his family for more than a century.
My first memory was definitely I was driving the truck when I was 8, and I was putting seed into the planter, back in the seed tender up to the planter. Besides being a 3-sport athlete, Nevada's Alexa Betting is active in other school activities and helps set up service projects for Key Club.
One of the ones, for example, that we brought last year was hygiene bags for shelters around Ames and Nevada. So everyone from the club brings in like a couple items like the toothbrush, sunscreen, socks, stuff like that.
Not only is Logan Gardner from Eddyville-Blakesburg Fremont a 3-sport athlete, he's also a member of the school's decorated marching band.
Football really comes after school while marching band comes in the morning. So they don't really clash much. Our bands had multiple Division I readings over the past, I think we were on to our 13th year in a row or something like that.
Nominate a student athlete by searching Beck's Player with Heart. The rest of tonight's playoff action is next on the Scouting Report.
Every day, farmers rise before the sun and put everything they have into a job so few can do. Their courage, resilience, and relentless work shape the legacies and future of our country. At Beck's, we're proud to stand alongside those who don't wait to see what the world will do. They act, they lead, they are the difference. Beck's honors your commitment to your land, family, and purpose. And while we can't predict what the future holds, there is one thing we can do to change it, and that's be the difference, right now, in every decision and every season.
At Beck's, we believe that true champions are not just made on the field, but also in the heart. The Beck's Player with Heart Scholarship celebrates high school student athletes who show dedication, teamwork, and leadership, both in sports and in their communities. We're honoring those who go above and beyond, demonstrating passion, perseverance, and a commitment to making a difference. Nominate a high school student athlete by searching Beck's Player with Heart.
The Scouting Report from Radio Iowa Sports.
After stunning top-ranked West Hancock in the opening round of the Class A playoffs, Galen Catholic will be out to post another upset tonight with a visit to number 3 MMCRU. Daniel Versteg has a preview.
Class A District 1 is represented by 4 teams in the second round of the playoffs, and 2 of them collide at Ed Smith Field tonight in Marcus. Unbeaten MMCRU beat Galen Catholic in the regular season 28-7 in Lamars. Galen Catholic running back Wyatt Kuntz ran for 107 yards and a touchdown in that matchup, and MMCRU head coach Kyle Oswald says that success came from a physical offensive line.
Their biggest forte is running the ball because that's the dudes they have. They have a big line that can create running lanes and go really hard. So our biggest challenge is trying to simulate the hardcore, almost bully beat kind of stuff up front.
MMCRU quarterback Eli Harpinaugh had one of his worst games against Galen Catholic, throwing 3 of his 6 interceptions this season against the Jays. Galen Catholic head coach Jeremy Schindler says forcing pressure on him will be key.
The biggest thing to slowing down their pass game are 2 things, really. One, you got to get pressure on the quarterback. If you let him sit back there all day, he's a really good football player, and he'll pick you apart. And then 2, our secondary, they got to have their eyes in the right spot. And then get your eyes on the quarterback, and when the ball's in the air, go make a play on the football.
The winner of this matchup will face off with either Woodbury Central or Madrid in the quarterfinals. For the Radio Iowa Scouting Report, I'm Daniel Versteg with KLEM Radio in Lamars.
Also in Class A, it's second-ranked St. Ansgar hosting West Fork. Number 4 ACGC is at home to take on Mount Ayr. Another rematch in Class A finds 9th-ranked Linville-Sully hosting BGM. These teams met back in Week 4 with Linville-Sully claiming a 41-20 homecoming victory. In that game, Hawks quarterback Connor Deal played sparingly while dealing with a knee injury.
At that time, he wasn't real mobile, and he's a pretty mobile quarterback, a guy that can make plays with his legs when he needs to. He's got a great arm. So he didn't have all the tools at his disposal, so he didn't really play a big role for us in that game. So that's something, moving into this game that, we're excited to have him back.
That's Linville-Sully coach Mike Parkinson. Rateds collide in Class 1A tonight when number 8 Underwood visits 9th-ranked West Marshall. This game will pit Underwood's balanced offense against a West Marshall offense that averages more than 260 yards of rushing per game. And Underwood coach Nate McHaleson says winning on first down will be a key.
I think we'll emphasize first down on both sides of the ball. Obviously put our offense in really good positions to pick up first downs and make it a little harder on them to pick up first downs. But first down will definitely be a key. It's always a key with a really good running football team.
Also in 1A, top-ranked Grundy Center plays host to Clarion Goldfield Dows. It's number 2 West Lyon at home against Lawton Bronson. 3rd-ranked Regina Catholic hosts 10th-ranked Cascade. 2A, perennial power Van Meter faces a rare playoff road test tonight. Quinn Douglas reports.
It's a battle between a rising program and an established dynasty on Friday night when Roland Story hosts number 6 Van Meter in the Class 2A playoffs. Roland Story head coach Matt Finn says this game will be akin to a heavyweight prize fight.
We're going to have to make sure that we're sound in all phases of the game and understand that we're in for a 10-round fight. And we've got to just keep hanging in there and taking advantage of things that we can do.
Friday's game for Van Meter is just the 3rd road playoff game the Bulldogs have played in since 2015. Head coach Eric Trudeau says a balanced schedule has helped prepare his team for the playoffs.
3A playoff qualifier in Des Moines Christian, 1A district champion in Trainer, a 3A district champion in Winterset, and then, we went bang, bang, bang through our district schedule, which turned out to be really, really balanced.
Trudeau says the Roland Story defense presents a big test.
We'll really need to take care of the football against them, but they present a number of challenges.
For the Radio Iowa Scouting Report and KQWC, this is Quinn Douglas.
Also in Class 2A tonight, top-ranked Kemper Catholic hosts OABCIG. It's number 2 Osage at home against Hampton-Dumont Cal. 3rd-ranked PCM plays host to Pella Christian. And in 8-player tonight, it's number 1 Bishop Garrigan hosting North Union. 2nd-ranked Iowa Valley is at home to take on Janesville. And in a rated matchup, it's 3rd-ranked Gladbrook Rhinebeck hosting 9th-ranked Easton Valley. All of tonight's winners advance to next week's quarterfinal round. That's all for the Scouting Report. For Radio Iowa Sports, I'm Todd Kim.
It's Football Friday night, which means it's the Raw Customs and the Homestead Country Store Friday Night Tailgate Show. Sports Director Tyler Lance will talk to the coaches from West Bend Mallard and North Union about tonight's matchups. Here's Tyler with all the details from inside the locker room.
It's time for your Friday Night Tailgate Show here for this round of 16 week in Iowa high school football. Of course, West Bend Mallard ended their season last week with a win over East Mills in week 9 to wrap up the season at 3-5. So they have wrapped up their season, which means they're down to just North Union here on the Friday Night Tailgate Show. And boy, what a week it was last week for the North Union Warriors. They took on GTRA in a rematch of week 4 of the season, a game they lost to the Titans 52-28, but it was a totally different story last week as the Warriors ran for almost 400 yards. They scored 7 touchdowns on the ground and upset 8-0, number 7 ranked GTRA 56-48. Now, after that upset, they're rewarded with a rematch against the number 1 ranked Bishop Garrigan Golden Bears. We'll talk with North Union head coach Matt Ernster about how his team can continue that momentum from last week, next on your Friday Night Tailgate Show.
The Homestead Country Store invites you to stop by their location at 203 South Broadway Avenue in West Bend, where you're sure to find all your favorite candies and snacks. Let's not forget the ice cream. Do you need syrup for your pancakes or waffles? Check out their New York syrup. Homestead Country Store has a wide variety of supplies from King Arthur brand all-purpose and wheat flour to spices and herbs for your canning supplies. From our homestead to yours, you'll find what you need at the Homestead Country Store in downtown West Bend. Raw Customs in West Bend is committed to becoming your go-to shop for any of your vehicle's customization needs. That means offering accessories and services whether you're touring the city or tearing up the trail. You need to be confident that your accessories can keep up. They offer durable, top-of-the-line quality products at affordable prices. Follow them on Facebook or call Raw Customs in West Bend today at 515-887-2800.
Back here on the Friday Night Tailgate Show on Home Country Radio, as we're joined on the program by North Union Warrior head coach Matt Ernster. Coach, it's always great to have you on the program today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
And Coach, North Union's now on to the round of 16 after upsetting previously 8-0 GTRA. What was the confidence level and mindset around the team going into that game? Because they ended up coming out and playing a full 4 quarters of good football on the road against a really good state-ranked opponent.
Yeah, I just think all week we had to kind of talk about we did some things in that first game against them that we thought was really good, and we thought that if we could find a way to be more consistent in that throughout the game, in the second quarter of that first one, we put up 28 points and really got the run game going, and defensively we were pretty solid for a while, and then just things kind of slipped away. We just got inconsistent with it. So we felt like if we played up to our capabilities and executed things on a more consistent basis, that we would really have a shot at it. And so we just felt like the previous weeks leading up to it had given us confidence, and then really kind of diving back into that first game and looking at some of the things that we weren't as good at and making some adjustments. Just our kids felt it all week, I thought.
And Coach, the game last week started very well for North Union as you guys took the early 28-8 lead, but that's a game where the offense knows they have to keep scoring because of the way GTRA plays on offense. They're never usually out of a game. How were you guys able to keep the pressure on offensively and make sure that you were always a step ahead of GTRA?
Yeah, I just felt like we were able to identify fronts maybe a little bit better the second time around at them. And like I just talked about, just the past weeks, just our level of play has kind of risen. And we're playing a lot better than what we were earlier in the season when we played them. So I felt like our line definitely understood assignments a lot better, did a much better job picking up some of the stuff that gave us fits in the first matchup. And really it was just a matter of staying on schedule, as we call it, and making sure that we were in situations that were, in our favor, and making sure that we got first downs and kept drives going. And I thought we did a good job of that early on, like you said, to jump out to that lead, but then to maintain it as the game went on, because you do have to, keep up with that, or at least be cognizant of it, because they can score so fast.
And Coach, a huge night on the ground with the team rushing for almost 400 yards and 7 touchdowns. You mentioned the really good line play up front, but big nights put on as well by Draven Keeler and Grayson Colgrove in the rushing game. So can you speak a bit on their night and the way that they were able to be as productive as they were in the run game?
Yeah, I just think Draven does a good job, and he has throughout the season and his career of just being a hard runner. He just, he kind of runs angry a little bit at times, and he's gotten a lot better this year, it feels like, of trusting and reading blocks, and I thought he did a really good job of that last Friday, of kind of seeing the hole, start to develop, and then taking advantage when it did, and when stuff wasn't necessarily there, of just finding cutback lanes and making good reads, and then finishing runs, and always kind of falling forward for positive yards. And Grayson did the same thing. I thought it was his best night of the season as far as his ability to finish runs, and I think his hands getting a little bit healthier. That's helping with some things. His confidence has improved, but I thought he just really finished things well, hit things a lot harder than maybe he had in the past, and then he did really good things for us on the scrambles as far as when the passing games broke down and making plays in the open field. So they both just did a good job of kind of knowing what they had to do and then reaching those kind of those potentials that we talked about all season, and kind of came to fruition that night.
We're talking right now with North Union football coach Matt Ernster. Coach, on the defensive side of the ball, you came in probably knowing that, hey, if we manage to get a couple of stops on them, that might be enough to win the game, and ultimately it was. How would you evaluate what you saw on the defensive end against a GTRA team that had a lot of weapons on offense?
I thought they were phenomenal, and then we kind of joked about it this week that, you give up 48 points and you're still just unbelievably proud of what you guys did on defense, because that's just the playmakers that they have and the schemes that they have are so good. And so we, like you said, we knew we were going to have to kind of get just a couple stops to make things happen because they are hard to stop. And so I thought that our defensive coaches and our kids on Friday just did a good job of putting some new things in place. Executing our one-on-one coverage on deep balls was really, really good to kind of prevent that. That's what they really love. And we just made them, kind of push them out of their element a little bit with having to go more of the intermediate and short route with it, and put some games up front, and just, like I said, our kids just played excellent all night.
Now it's on to a rematch against Bishop Garrigan in this round of 16. Similar situation to last week, facing an undefeated opponent on the road that you already saw in the regular season. When you think back to where North Union was back when you first played Bishop Garrigan to where you are now, what would you say some of the biggest differences are?
Well, I think health's the big one. We played without a few guys that night, and so I think, and Garrigan did as well, but I think that's a big thing for us. We've gotten healthier. We've been able to maintain health this last part of the season, which is really good for us. I think a little bit, just some adjustments, just kind of doing some different things that maybe early in the season we thought were going to work. And we've kind of realized, it didn't work as well as we thought, or maybe it's not who we were as a team. And so just changing a couple of different things in that aspect, and just kind of finding, I guess, our identity and getting a little bit of confidence back. I think that's been the biggest kind of thing over the past few weeks, as opposed to maybe the first time that we played Garrigan. We were also coming off a kind of a weird stretch there where we had the 2 losses in a row and a bye week, and it was tough. And so it's been good to see our kids kind of break out of that and have a good last little portion of this season with the past few weeks going.
And, Coach, that previous meeting with Bishop Garrigan was a night where it was tough to get going on offense, and then with the early deficit, the run game kind of went by the wayside in that night as the ground game didn't really get going. But when you look at this upcoming matchup against Garrigan, what are some keys to making sure you get that ground game established early on?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, they're very, very good, and so we have to be able to identify fronts. They came out in a couple of different things that maybe caught us a little off guard, so we got to be able to identify those things and expect some new things again this time around. They're creative with what they do and very sound in what they do, and they got guys that they can run a lot of different things. So I think we got to be able to identify those things right away. We got to stay on stuff a little bit longer, and that's tough with what they do as far as getting off blocks and getting the ball. But we got to be more aggressive in our aggressive and physical in what we're doing up front. Seal things off a little bit better than what we did at times, and probably mix a little bit more inside-outside run stuff as far as trying to get those things to open up for us in the run game.
Looking at the defensive side of the ball for North Union, it's going to take a big effort on that end of the field as well. So what would you say some of the biggest keys to slowing down this Bishop Garrigan offense are?
Just like with on offense, that's tough, and nobody's really been able to kind of crack that code all year with them. They're capable of kind of doing it all, and so I think you got to find a way to force them to really drive the ball. really limit their big plays. They're really good about just kind of taking what they can get, and then when the opportunity comes for a big home run play, they're really good about hitting it. So it's trying to deny those things, force them into really long drives, find a way to get some turnovers from them, because if we can get the turnovers, then then we got a chance to get possessions and steal some points there. And so I think those are probably the two biggest things as far as our defense is concerned.
Coach, wrapping up the interview for this week, what's the final message to the guys before they head out into the field for Friday night's kickoff?
We've just been talking about, kind of staying on the same track that we've been on, of trying to keep taking steps forward and improving and, playing total team football like we kind of have been. And, ultimately when the adversity hits during the game, because it always does in every game, staying strong like we have been and just continuing to fight through it. And I think, just going out and playing loose and playing fast, ultimately, they've got the ranking and all those types of things, and so we kind of feel like maybe the pressure is more on them. Hopefully we can, kind of, like you said, play loose and just kind of get after it and have fun and see what happens.
Coach, good luck this week against Bishop Garrigan, and thank you as always for your time today on the Tailgate Show.
Yeah, thank you.
That's North Union Warrior head coach Matt Ernster getting ready for his team's round of 16 matchup against the Bishop Garrigan Golden Bears. That'll do it for this week for our Friday Night Tailgate Show. The Edward Jones pregame show is coming up next on Home Country Radio, KLGZ.
It's time to hit the field. That's it for Raw Customs and the Homestead Country Store Friday Night Tailgate Show.
Get ready for football with the Garrigan Golden Bear pregame show. Brought to you by your Edward Jones representatives Bruce Keith, Jerry Soka, Brady Ross, and Mackenzie Jorgensen. We've got interviews with coaches, the starting lineups, Kimnaw Auto Center's keys to the game, the Grassmasters field conditions report, Algona Plumbing and Heating's game time temperature, Eyes on Thornton's coin toss, and more as we preview tonight's matchup. The pregame is also brought to you by Kasuth Regional Health Center, your home for healthcare, JDR Seeds of Wesley, Tom Eishin Sales, your store in the country, Banwork Trucking of Odison, Cook's Scrap Iron and Metal, family owned since 1913, and Algona Feed Store, livestock, dog, and cat food. Here's Tyler Lance on the Golden Bear Edward Jones pregame show.
And a happy Halloween to all you ghouls and goblins out there listening in tonight. Hopefully everyone got a break from the trick-or-treating action to take in some high school football, because we've got a good one tonight here in 8-player Pod 1 action. It's the round of 16 as the 9-0 number 1 ranked Bishop Garrigan Golden Bears take on the 5-3 North Union Warriors in a rematch from October 3rd. Well, it's the second straight week of a rematch for both of these teams. Bishop Garrigan last week made quick work of Kingsley Pearson, winning that game 57-12 by dominating on the ground with 435 yards and 7 touchdowns rushing, while Kingsley Pearson was held to 29 carries for 38 yards and threw 4 interceptions in that game. Meanwhile, for North Union, they've been playing some of their best football here late in the regular season, and now to kick off the postseason, they won their final 2 regular season games in blowout fashion, and then they surprised 8-0 number 7 ranked GTRA with a 56-48 upset in the first round. North Union had previously lost to GTRA 52-28 in the regular season, and the key in that game, a fast start for the Warriors. They got out in front by 20 points early, and they never let GTRA get over the top as the Warriors grounded and pounded. Draven Keeler took on a huge workload in that game, carrying the ball 37 times for 272 yards and going for 4 touchdowns on the ground, while quarterback Grayson Colgrove added nearly 100 yards of his own. But the North Union Warriors, they'll face a stiff test here tonight. They'll try to get that ground game established early against a Garrigan team that has locked down opposing rushing games so far this season, never allowing more than 108 rushing yards in a game. They've in fact held their opponent to 7 or less points in 6 of their 9 games so far this season. That includes when they played North Union, defeating them 54-7, with only North Union touchdown being a kick return in that ball game. So both these teams, they want to ground and pound here in the run game because it's a cold night, it is a windy night, and it is certainly a night that feels like October and even early November as we turn the calendar over tomorrow, high school football. Again, round of 16, 8-player Pod 1 action. The winner in this one will play on Thursday night of next week
against the winner of number 8, 6-2 Don Bosco, and at 7-2 Clarksville. That game going on tonight in Pod 1 action as well. With that, we'll continue on with our Edward Jones pregame show. We've already chatted with North Union head coach Matt Ernster on the Friday night tailgate show portion of this, and we'll get ahead to Bishop Garrigan coach John Kesselring. He'll preview the action for the Golden Bears coming up here on KLGZ and at the Algona Radio YouTube stream.
You shouldn't need an advanced degree to figure out how to pay for one. Hi, I'm Brady Ross, your Algona Edward Jones financial advisor, and I want to help you understand all the options you have when paying for an education. Whether you're the first in your family to attend college or planning for a grandchild to build on a legacy that goes back generations, let's work together to take care of your unique financial needs. Call me at 515-295-7763 to get started today. Together with Bruce Keith, Jerry Sokup, and Mackenzie Jorgensen, we are your local Edward Jones financial advisors. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Cook Scrap Iron and Metal in Algona. Think Cooks for all your new steel and welding supplies. Do you have any leftover material you don't need anymore? Cooks will take your scrap iron and scrap metal too. A family-owned business since 1913. Cooks Scrap Iron and Metal in Algona. Call them today at 515-295-2512 or stop in at 900 East McGregor Street, Algona.
When it comes to your recovery, we tackle issues head-on. Whether you're on the field, setting up a spike, or running the course, Kossuth Regional Health Center's rehab team is here to help when an injury occurs. I'm Bryce Buckle, physical therapist, and as a former student athlete, I know how important it is to get back in the game. At KRHC, our team works with local healthcare providers and specialists throughout the area for a recovery plan that works for you. Best of luck to all of our area athletes this season. We'll be cheering for you.
Do you see yourself traveling, working part-time, or moving somewhere warmer when you retire? Hi, I'm Bruce Keith, your Edward Jones financial advisor, and I want to help make your retirement goals a reality. Let's talk about where you are, where you want to be, and how we get you there. Together, we can plan for the expected and make sure you're ready for the unexpected. Contact me, Bruce Keith, at 515-295-5173. Together with Jerry Sokup, Mackenzie Jorgensen, and Brady Ross, we are your local Edward Jones financial advisors. Edward Jones, members SIPC.
At Wiffles Hybrids, they're completely focused on developing and producing the very best seed corn on the planet. A snack they've been polishing for more than 70 years, right here in the heart of the Corn Belt. Wiffles Hybrid, one thing done right. For more information, contact Rich Rosenmeyer, Dale Lappy, or Mitchell Carroll at JDR Seed of Wesley, 515-341-2452, or visit wiffles.com.
What you feed your animals makes a difference. Hi, this is Philip Dietrich from the Algona Feed Store. We are driven to provide you with products and answers that will improve the health and well-being of your animals. We proudly offer products from Hubbard Feeds, so whether you produce meat, milk, and eggs, or just want to give your family pet the proper nutrition it deserves, you can count on the very best with the Algona Feed Store. Visit our location at 525 South Phillips Street and see the difference proper nutrition can make.
As we come back on your Edward Jones pregame show here on Home Country Radio KLGZ, we're joined by Bishop Garrigan coach John Kesselring to talk some Golden Bear football leading into their second round matchup against North Union. Coach, as always, great to talk to you here, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks, Tyler. It's great to be talking to you this late in the year.
Coach, a win in the first round of the postseason is defeat Kingsley Pearson 57-12 and move on to round 2 to take on North Union. Now that you've had a few days to look at the film and go over that tape of the Kingsley Pearson game, what have been some of the biggest things that have jumped out to you from that and that Golden Bear win in the first round?
Takeaway is that, number one, we were both sides of the ball, and special teams, we were just really, really physical, and I thought that was really important. And then I thought, for the first time all year, Kingsley Pearson did some really good things in the first quarter to us that maybe we did not adjust to very well in the first quarter to then we shut them out from the second quarter on the rest of the game. So I was really proud of our kids' ability to adjust a little bit and handle a little bit of that. We haven't, right, wrong, or indifferent, we haven't had a ton of people score on us this year. So when somebody scores twice on you in the first quarter, I thought our kids handled that well when they haven't had to handle that for such a long stretch of the year.
Absolutely. And Coach, is starting off the game, you come out on the opening drive, and like we've seen almost every other game so far this season, you guys march down and get the opening touchdown. And when you're starting off the game, I'm sure you've kind of have that set of plays that you worked on in practice and that you want to break out to begin things and set the tone. For you as the offensive play caller, how are you thinking about things early in the game as far as getting different guys involved and getting different guys engaged? Because you have the good problem to have that you have a lot of different guys who are able to touch the ball and make an impact for the Golden Bears.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We have roughly 15 to 20 plays that we really feel confident about that we think are our top 20 best plays. And in that subset of plays, we do try to get all of the guys that we want to get the ball to get that. We do keep track of in-game, how many touches everybody's getting to make sure we're getting the right guys' touches into getting them the ball in the best position for them. So that's all kind of a part of that. So then obviously, in those top 20 plays, sometimes when you're on the 1 yard line, it's a no-brainer. You're going to sneak it in and do some of that stuff. So, as you compile those, really over half the game, of snaps, you can almost feel really, really confident or really, really good at. And in those plays, we really have we try to get a lot of guys the ball and try to put them in the best position possible. So that is a priority. I thought, on Friday night it got, from a play calling standpoint, we had 2 takeaways. We had 4 total interceptions. We had 2 takeaways where we did not capitalize and score on. And, part of that was probably greed on my part. I wanted to score right away after a takeaway, and it ended up hurting us. And so that was good. The kids overcame that, and I was proud of them for that. But that was just a good reminder to, not to be greedy with it. I think we're doing okay with how things are going. You don't need to get greedy with it. So that was a good reminder for me too, and to not put the kids in bad positions. So it was a good learning thing for all of us on Friday night.
Coach, another thing we talked about on Saturday morning on the Coaches Show was the fact that the Golden Bears were really able to turn it into a very physical game against a team that wanted to spread it out and throw the football quite a bit. And not that that's anything new. I mean, this is a physical team, and they like to kind of enforce their will that way. But can you speak on the way the guys were able to turn it into a little bit of a rock fight and get the physical tone of the game in their favor?
I think that when we were preparing for the week, you can maybe we challenged them not to lose that physical mindset a little bit, just from a sense that when you feel like you're spreading it out all the time, it isn't necessarily as physical or as many collisions. And I think they just took a lot of pride in when they had an opportunity to make a really big play and really, have a really good tackle and deliver a blow with some force. They really took advantage of that. I think, we had Tate Furch had a big hit on the sideline, and that really kind of ignited the guys there at that point. It was I think it was 14-12 or 14-8 at some point, and that really ignited the kids. And then they kind of just got into that mode. Is when it was our opportunity, we weren't going to miss. And they, from the second quarter on, they didn't. And so that was really exciting for us.
Now, coaches, we move on to this week. Very similar to the first round, you guys welcome an opponent that you already saw during the regular season, that being the North Union Warriors. You don't always see a ton of rematches in the early part of the playoffs, but a little bit different story here this season for the Golden Bears. I guess first thing, number one, is you look at North Union, their running back, Draven Keeler. That's a guy who's made a huge impact on their recent games, so I'd imagine shutting him down is kind of first priority, and if they try to beat you through the air, that's the way it is. But what do you guys need to do to shut down Keeler on the defensive end of the field?
Yeah, he's a really good running back, and they do a lot of really good stuff, and they have an athletic quarterback who's, really athletic in a lot of different sports, too, so he's just a really good athlete. So, this is probably a team they were probably the only team we played all year, in the first half of the year that really wanted to get into the box with us, weren't necessarily afraid to get into that kind of football game with us and welcomed that. They were very physical the first time we played them, and so that was, I think an adjustment for our kids. This is a team that isn't just going to throw it around and hope they hit on some big plays. They were going to run it right at us and expect them to do that again, and Draven's a big part of what they do. He's a really good back, and with an athletic quarterback, that limits how much you can key on one guy. They're big up front, too. They have a really good offensive line, athletic tight ends. The more you talk about them, the more it sounds like us, and they're probably an early mishap against a good Riceville team away from being ranked in the top 10. They're a very, very good football team, so we're definitely going to have our hands full.
And, Coach, similar to last week when we talked, you mentioned you see Kingsley Pearson earlier in the season. They've made some improvements since that time, as have the Golden Bears. And then same this week of North Union. You see them at the midway point of the season. Both you and them have taken steps forward since that time. So I guess from your perspective, when you look at North Union, do you see anything different or anything maybe unique compared to the first time that you saw them?
Yeah, they do a little bit. They've obviously made some adjustments from when we saw them the first time that we played them. I feel like they've gotten better at running the football, and Draven's a big part of that. And they've also incorporated the use of their tight ends. They have a tight end, a junior, Cooper Hoy, who's really come on as of late. He's added a layer, to where you can't just put 7 guys or 8 guys in the box. You have to respect where he's at, and they have some split outs. Cale Jones and the Crouch kid who returned to kickoff for a touchdown against us. He's an electric player too, and they've done a better job of getting him the ball more. And so, again, the more people that have touched the ball in the last 3 or 4 weeks for them are really, a concern for us. They've spread the ball out more, and I expect them to run it at us, but I also expect them to be able to throw it, and their quarterback can do that.
Coach, as we wrap up the interview for this week, what do you see as one or two of the biggest keys for the Golden Bears to pick up a win in this one and move on to the state quarterfinal round?
I would say the 2 things. Number 1, patience. We've got to be patient. We need to be, don't get antsy on offense that, it might take 6, 7, 8, 9 plays to score. Don't get antsy on defense. We don't get a takeaway or they get a first down or a second first down. Don't all of a sudden don't get impatient with anything. I would say that's really, we've talked a lot about being patient. And I think the second thing that we just have to do is, this is the last Friday night on Conway Field, and after tonight there is no more Friday night football games. So, goes to Thursday and Wednesday and Thursday or whatever down the road. So enjoy this Friday night. This is the last Friday night, and harvest is almost over. So we've noticed, our stands are filling right back up again now that everybody's getting out of the field. So enjoy that moment and take it in, but don't make it bigger than what it is. It's the most important game because it's the next game, and we've talked a lot about that all year. So it's a big game because it's the one right in front of us, and it's nothing more, nothing less than that. So that'll be the 2 things, patience and really just, enjoying the moment but not making it too big. So those will be the 2 areas that we're focused on Friday night.
Coach, we're looking forward to seeing round 2 of the playoffs as Bishop Garrigan takes on North Union. As always, thank you so much for your time today in the pregame show.
Thanks, Tyler. Go Bears.
Bishop Garrigan coach John Kesselring joining us on your Edward Jones pregame show. We'll step aside for a quick timeout. When we come back, more pregame coverage on KLGZ 98.5 FM, AM 1600, and the Algona Radio YouTube stream.
What does it mean to be rich? Maybe it's less about reaching a magic number and more about discovering the magic in life. Hi, I'm Edward Jones financial advisor Jerry Sokup. Count on me for financial strategies that can help support a life you love, because the key to being rich is knowing what counts. Contact me at 515-295-7766 and let's find your rich. Along with Bruce Keith, Brady Ross, and Mackenzie Jorgensen, we are your local Edward Jones financial advisors. Member SIPC.
Kossuth Regional Health Center is your home for recovery care. This is Shane Meschke, physical therapist at KRHC. Let our local team help you recover with physical therapy, cardiac rehab, and many other services. And for student athletes, we're ready to help you get back in the game. Find us online at krhc.com or call 295-2451.
Kossuth Regional Health Center, your home for health care.
Cook Scrap Iron and Metal in Algona. Think Cooks for all your new steel and welding supplies. Do you have any leftover material you don't need anymore? Cooks will take your scrap iron and scrap metal too. A family-owned business since 1913. Cooks Scrap Iron and Metal in Algona. Call them today at 515-295-2512 or stop in at 900 East McGregor Street, Algona.
Back here in your Edward Jones pregame show, brought to you by Representatives Bruce Keith, Jerry Sokup, Brady Ross, and Mackenzie Jorgensen. Coming up at the top of the hour, it's the Bishop Garrigan Golden Bears and North Union Warriors, a district rivalry renewed. Part 2 here, going back to that first meeting back in early October. Right now, we'll take a look at the starting lineups for both teams in tonight's game, starting off with North Union's on offense and Bishop Garrigan's on defense. For the Warriors, they're led by their junior quarterback, 6'2", 180-pound Grayson Colgrove, who ran for 3 touchdowns last week against GTRA. Their halfback, also coming off a huge game game with over 1,200 yards on the ground this season, the 5'11", 195-pound senior Draven Keeler. The offensive line today for North Union: at left guard, the 6'3", 270-pound senior Lane Brune; the center, the 5'11", 185-pound junior Max Merrill; and at right guard, the 6'3", 225-pound senior Cole Nickerson. Starting tight end for North Union, the 6-foot-tall, 175-pound junior Cooper Hoy, who's caught a touchdown pass in 3 consecutive games. Out wide, it'll be Cale Jones, a 6-foot-tall senior, and Carson Crouch, their electric sophomore who ran a kickoff back for a touchdown last time out against Bishop Garrigan. For the Golden Bear defensive line, it'll be Carter McGregor and Carter Schwab at the end positions. A couple of seniors there for Bishop Garrigan, and their 6'4", 260-pound sophomore Carson the Moose Kramer in the middle. Also expect to see a lot of Weston Rosenmeyer getting in there on those 4-man defensive lines. The linebackers for Bishop Garrigan, you've got Ethan Marceau. He's out there, of course. Bishop Garrigan's leading tackler this year with 33 stops, and then Matt Miller, a junior, back in there as well these past couple weeks for the Golden Bears. In the secondary, you've got Michael Joyce, Bishop Garrigan's junior, of 5 picks this season. Tate Furch, a Garrigan senior, he's intercepted 8 passes, also starting in the secondary alongside the starting safety, sophomore C.J. McGregor. Meanwhile, for the Golden Bear offense and the North Union defense, you've got starting quarterback Tate Furch for Bishop Garrigan with 21 touchdowns, only 1 pick this season. He's also rushed for 11 scores on the year. Starting tailback tonight, of course, the battering ram himself, Ethan Marceau, their 6'2", 230-pound sledgehammer tailback. He'll be led by the fullback Carter McGregor, the 5'11", 175-pound senior. Up front, left to right, it's the senior guard Carter Schwab, the senior center Caden Graves, and the junior right guard Nate Learer, the starting tight end for the Golden Bears, Weston Rosenmeyer, a junior. And out wide, you've got the 6'2", 175-pound junior Michael Joyce with 7 touchdown receptions on the season, including 1 last week. The North Union defense up front at the end positions, they've got the senior Cole Nickerson as well as the sophomore Cayenne Walter, the defensive tackle, the 5'11", 240-pound senior John Waller. Linebackers for North Union, Carson Crouch, their sophomore with 26 tackles on the year, Max Merrill, a junior for North Union, and then Cooper Hoy, another junior, filling out the linebacker spots. Safeties tonight, Grayson Colgrove, a junior, and Cale Jones, a senior. Jones with 4 interceptions this year for North Union. That's a quick look at the starting lineups for tonight's game. When we come back, your Chem Auto Center keys to the game, all as part of your Edward Jones pregame show.
Life changes, then it changes again. At Edward Jones, we believe that when it comes to your financial goals, you can't predict the unexpected, but you can prepare. Challenges such as job loss, change in health, or loss of a loved one can have a big impact on your family's financial security. Hi, I'm Mackenzie Jorgensen, an Edward Jones financial advisor. Let's work together to help make sure you're ready for life's ups and downs. Call us at 515-395-4021 to get started. Together with Brady Ross, Jerry Sokup, and Bruce Keith, we are local Edward Jones financial advisors. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Get ready for a powerful outdoor experience with products from Tom Eisen Sales. They stock and service steel products and Toro mowers and snow blowers. Hitch up and go with their awesome selection of trailers. They carry a variety of trailers to fit your needs, like flatbed, enclosed, utility, gooseneck, and more. Turn pro in your own backyard with a Green Mountain pellet grill. Whatever the job, get it done like a pro with products from Tom Eisen Sales. Your store in the country, Highway 18, just west of Algona.
At Wiffles Hybrids, they're completely focused on developing and producing the very best seed corn on the planet. It's an act they've been polishing for more than 70 years, right here in the heart of the Corn Belt. Wiffles Hybrid, one thing done right. For more information, contact Rich Rosenmeyer, Dale Lappy, or Mitchell Carroll at JDR Seed of Wesley, 515-341-2452, or visit wiffles.com.
At Chemna Auto Center, they understand that you have no shortage of options when it comes to purchasing or servicing your car. They're your hometown dealer for new GM, Ford, and Chrysler makes and models. Plus, they also offer an extensive selection of pre-owned vehicles. Serving you with a dedicated sales and finance team, along with world-class service technicians that are passionate about keeping your ride in top shape. Visit their showrooms today for an experience you deserve. Chemna Auto Center in Algona.
Back here on your Edward Jones pregame show, brought to you by Representatives Bruce Keith, Jerry Sokup, Brady Ross, and Mackenzie Jorgensen. It's now time for your Chemna Auto Center keys to the game, Chemna's an experience you deserve. I'm Tyler Lance, tonight alongside our number 2 Chemna key to the game, Beanie Bodie. Of course, the number 1 Chemna key to the game was that pork patty sandwich I ate prior to tonight. What a delicious meal to start off our Halloween evening, Beanie, and what a delicious matchup here. Bishop Garrigan and North Union, part 2 here, as we go back to October 3rd when Garrigan beat North Union 54-7, but tonight, a better North Union team coming in to face the Golden Bears in this one.
That is right. Much improved teams. Tyler, that pork patty could have come from either one of these schools. All the hog farmers that go to North Union and Bishop Garrigan. And likely that pork patty sandwich is a local one for you, and that's a treat for you on this trick-or-treat day, Tyler. I don't see you eat a lot of food with your svelte running figure. But let's get to the ball game, Tyler. North Union. We said it the last time these two teams matched up. Like, this is a rivalry in the budding.
Yes.
Like, you could just see it. They're up in the county. We're down in the county. And these teams are going to face each other year in and year out. So we might as well get that rivalry started now.
Yeah, no better way to start it than a second-round playoff matchup, which gets us into the Chemna keys to the game for tonight. Beanie, you go back to that first matchup. That's one of the few games that we saw that I said, and you said as well, that kind of looked like an 11-man game, especially early on before things got out of control. And part of that is some more meticulous drives, longer grinding out drives where you have to really march the ball slowly and methodically down the field. So my Chemna key to the game for tonight for both teams is third down conversion rate. You've got to be patient. There's going to be some third down and mediums here tonight for the way these two teams run the ball. So whichever team gets above that 50% and even 60% mark tonight on third down conversions, they're going to have a big upper hand. You've got to find a way to keep your offense on the field tonight and wear down that opposing defense by getting a really good rate on third down conversions.
Ooh, Tyler, that is a good one. It's a good thing we don't meet beforehand and discuss this. That is a good one that I didn't think of. My Chemna key to the game is along that lines. It was like an 11-man game. Both teams are running the ball hard, and tonight, first game that these teams have had to play in cold weather. Really crucial that they hold on to that ball as these teams try to establish their running game. You got to limit your turnovers tonight. Hopefully no turnovers, but turnovers are what make games like this go awry. Bishop Garrigan, number 1 team in the state, clearly favored, but turnovers, should they occur, can really change a playoff game. And cold weather increases your risk of turnovers. That ball gets a little slippery. It's a little colder. Your hands are cold, harder to handle. You get where I'm going.
No doubt about that, Beanie. And when you interview coaches before a game, what do they always say? We've got to keep the turnovers down, we've got to keep the penalties down, and we've got to start fast here tonight, especially if you're North Union. If you get down multiple possessions against Bishop Garrigan going to the end of the first quarter, that's going to make it for a long night tonight. You don't want to be in a spot where your quarterback's dropping back to throw it 20, 30 times tonight. Warriors have to start this game well, especially underdog on the road. You march down on that first drive and get the opening touchdown. It takes a little pressure off, makes you guys feel a little better about their chances, but if you start slow here against Garrigan, that's where the downs start to creep in.
Oh, for sure. You got to have a fast start. And I know there's people out there listening thinking, that guy's crazy. Garrigan doesn't turn the ball over. Marceau never drops it. And Tate Furch, that guy never throws an interception. But playoff games, crazy things happen. We've seen it in the past. So that is why that's my key to the game.
All right, those are our Chemna Auto Center keys to the game, brought to you by Chemna's an experience you deserve. We'll take another timeout leading into our Grassmasters Field Condition Report right here on Home Country Radio, KLGZ.
What you feed your animals makes a difference. Hi, this is Philip Dietrich from the Algona Feed Store. We are driven to provide you with products and answers that will improve the health and well-being of your animals. We proudly offer products from Hubbard Feeds, so whether you produce meat, milk, and eggs, or just want to give your family pet the proper nutrition it deserves, you can count on the very best with the Algona Feed Store. Visit our location at 525 South Phillip Street and see the difference proper nutrition can make.
Get ready for a powerful outdoor experience with products from Tom Eisen Sales. They stock and service still products and Toro mowers and snow blowers. Hitch up and go with their awesome selection of trailers. They carry a variety of trailers to fit your needs, like flatbed, enclosed, utility, gooseneck, and more. Turn pro in your own backyard with a Green Mountain pellet grill. Whatever the job, get it done like a pro with products from Tom Eisen Sales. Your store in the country, Highway 18, just west of Algona.
At Grassmasters, we believe the secret to a successful season is hard work and dedication, the same qualities that make up a winning team. Preparation, perseverance, and teamwork have enabled us to rise above the competition and bring you a championship team. So as this year kicks off, we at Grassmasters would like to wish all of the local athletes the very best and a successful season on and off the field. Grassmasters, growing satisfied customers.
Back here on your Edward Jones pregame show on Home Country Radio KLGZ and at the Algona Radio YouTube stream. I'm Tyler Lance alongside Beanie Bodie. It's time for our Grassmasters Field Conditions Report, brought to you by Grassmasters, the area's premier lawn care and tree care provider. Of course, Beanie, this field has some wear and tear. There have been a ton of games there so far this season, including one playoff game, but overall tonight, we didn't get really any precipitation earlier on today. It's not a cold night out there, so the ground might be a bit hard, but overall, for this time of year, the field conditions are about what you'd expect them to be.
Yeah, field looks fantastic. Some of these grass species love this cool weather, so as it gets colder, some of those grass species, they kick into gear. The field looks great and green. My lawn doesn't look great and green. I need to hire Grassmasters because it's a lot of brown, but this field looks great, a little chewed up, and like I say before, this field is meant to be played on, and they use it. JV levels, practices, that's what it's for. So get that field in use. It looks great for the postseason.
Yeah, it certainly does. This is going to be a field that has a lot of character by the end of the year. Some of that wear down in between the hash marks. But once these two teams dig into these big offensive lines and get the guys just really firing off that football, the field's going to feel it a little bit. But again, this is what you expect this time of year. A cooler night. We're always looking at the possibility of rain and snow and whatnot this time of year in Iowa. But the big thing is we don't have that here tonight, at least not yet anyways.
That's right. And these two offensive lines both fire off the ball. That's both these teams' strength. So they will need that turf to be solid as those cleats dig into the turf to push off and get that big initial push. But great field looks great. Thanks to the Plath family singers, as always, for putting the lines on there nice and clear for us to see and straight as an arrow.
So that's our Grassmasters Field Condition Report, brought to you by Grassmasters, the area's premier lawn care and tree care provider. We'll take another time out, get a quick PSA message in from the Iowa High School Athletic Association, and wrap up our Edward Jones pregame show next on Home Country Radio.
Better follow that report. The clock's winding down. Good.
Positive sportsmanship is an essential element of IHSA events.
Even as competitors, good sportsmanship puts us all on the same team.
We should all support the student athletes competing. Let the coaches coach.
Respect the officials working the event.
Be a positive representative of your school.
Thank you for supporting sportsmanship at Iowa High School activities.
With fall starting, so is seasonal allergies. This is Dr. John C. Kortenberg at Eyes on Thornton. Do your eyes itch? Are they irritated or watering? If you answered yes to any of those questions, you may benefit from a prescription for your ocular allergies. Why not feel better today? Call to schedule an appointment at Eyes on Thornton at 395-EYES. That's 395-3937.
Living in Iowa sure means we rely on our furnaces and air conditioners to keep us comfortable all year round. That's why Algona Plumbing and Heating is proud to be your local trusted Armstrong dealer. They're committed to bringing you the highest quality products in heating and cooling, and it doesn't get any better than Armstrong furnaces and air conditioners. For all your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs, give them a call at 295-5240 or stop by their Dodge Street location. Live comfortably with Algona Plumbing and Heating.
Home Country Radio presents Golden Bear Football. Brought to you by Iowa State Bank, Northwest Iowa Phone, Joint and Sports Surgeons, Security State Bank, Murphy Farm Services, and the many hometown and home country sports club members you'll hear throughout the game. Now we go live to Home Country Radio Sports Director Tyler Lance with the call.
Final notes of the national anthem going out over the airwaves here on Home Country Radio, KLGZ. I usually time it a lot better than that, folks. But in any case, we're about ready to go for tonight's second-round playoff matchup in Pod 1. The 9-0 Bishop Garrigan Golden Bears taking on the 5-3 North Union Warriors, who've won their last 3 games in a row. We'll start things off with our Algona Plumbing and Heating game time temperature for tonight. It is 39 degrees outside, and it is only getting colder out there, baby. This is playoff football weather, Beanie.
It is chilly. It might be 39 on the thermometer, but it feels chillier. This whole day was chilly. Captains are going out there. They're probably realizing the same thing, and it's always a test. Who's wearing the sleeves and who's going out sleeveless? Over time, it usually is the sleeveless team that wins, so I'm happy to see the captains are going out there for Garrigan. Sleeveless, well, the Warriors are for that matter, except for 1 or 2 of those guys. Boy, it's going to be a fun night for football. Helmets are off for the national anthem. Everyone look eager to get at it, and a lot of fresh haircuts out there. Moose appears to be freshly shorn. So that's they're ready to go. It's always weird because they did not have school today. It was a day off of school because of conferences. And so that always makes me a little leery, I should say, that, you know, they're a little bit out of sync. Didn't have school today. I know they had a walkthrough. They had mass, as the Bears did. And you know, you never know how that's going to play into the rhythm.
Well, as our Eyes on Forrington coin toss just wrapped up, North Union wins the coin toss, and they want to receive the football to begin the game. Bishop Garrigan in the all-black uniforms tonight, gold numerals front and back of the uniform, gold trim around the necks, and the BG and cross logo intertwined on the side of the helmet. North Union in the road whites tonight, white jersey pants, white jersey tops, green numerals front and back of the jersey, as they will be receiving the ball to start off the game. Remember, Carson Crouch ran a kickoff back for a touchdown last time these two teams matched up. Crouch averaging 29 yards per return. He's taken 2 touchdowns back on 17 kick return attempts so far this season for North Union. He's the lone deep back standing inside the 5-yard line. Ethan Marceau to set us underway here in round 2 of the playoffs. The Bishop Garrigan senior, 230-pound linebacker and kicker, is into the football, and it's a little squibber to the right side, and it's covered up at the 35-yard line by North Union. Heads up play by Gabe Whaley to get on top of that. The rest of the team was turning their back and running away to block that, and all of a sudden Whaley said, I better dive on this, otherwise Garrigan's going to get a free possession.
Well, earlier this season, Garrigan recovered an accidental onside kick against St. Edmunds. I think that about just happened there. If the North Union Warrior wasn't so gamey and right on the spot, he almost had it slip out, but I think that was a missed kick by Marceau. Here comes a North Union offense.
North Union averaging 40.2 points per game, 19th in the 8-player class. Bishop Garrigan only allowing 7.1, which is second in 8-man. Colgrove on the gun sends Crouch in motion, fakes the him, takes it to the middle, picks his way forward, and runs into the brick wall named Ethan Marceau after no gain. Colgrove back to the line of scrimmage, and it's 2nd down and 10.
Well, Marceau with his 230 pounds and ferocity does the job, but it was really his brain that made that. He just made a great linebacker read and stepped up and filled that gap right where the ball was going. All linebacker read there. Nice job.
Last time these teams met, North Union only ran for 46 yards on 23 carries. Draven Keeler was held to 25 yards. Colgrove held to 26. It's another run play. Keeler trying the right side. He's fighting forward. He got past the line of scrimmage, but not much more as he gained 1 yard on the play. Ball came out late, but he was down, and it was up a 3rd down and 9 for North Union.
That was Titan Troyer. Stepped up big, made a nice hit there, brought the ball carrier down. Good to see Titan in. He's got a big pad on his elbow. That's why he was out most of the season with an elbow injury. He's a talented young player. Going to see a lot of him in the future.
Well, you felt like last time these teams matched up, the game script kind of went against North Union, and they got away from the run game too early. Here early on, they're trying to establish it on their first drive, but now with a 3rd and 9. Ball's on the right side hash, 2 receivers out to the left for Colgrove. The junior back to throw. Marceau coming on the blitz, picked up by Keeler. Stepping forward is Colgrove, but Marceau got free, and he sacks Colgrove behind the line of scrimmage, back to the 32-yard line, and North Union goes free and out on their opening drive.
When Marceau gets there, Miller's there to clean up. Those are 2 outstanding linebackers for Garrigan. Great to have Miller back and Marceau good as always, but that defensive line is handling North Union's offensive line in that first series. North Union's got a very good offensive line, so hats off to the D-line. They're getting her done as well.
That's something to watch in this ball game, but that's one of those plays, too. You don't blame the line for the sack necessarily, but Colgrove has to get rid of that a little earlier as there's movement up front and a false start on North Union prior to the Crouch punt.
You know, that's all Carter Schwab there. He is deaking a little bit. He's trying to drum offsides, and it worked, and he right away tells the official, hey, that's a penalty, is it not? And the official eventually agreed with him.
Yeah, Carter Schwab can be a menace to the opposing lines. He does this little thing where he'll move the arms, but he doesn't cross over the line of scrimmage, and that gets a lot of opposing guards.
That's some gamesmanship right there by the senior.
So Crouch heels at the 15-yard line. He'll unload the ball with the right foot. A spiraling kick. Joyce back at his 19-yard line, and he takes it. He's in a ton of traffic. He's hit by 3 white jerseys, and he is pushed backwards. Cooper Hoy and Cale Jones getting down there for the stop, and Bishop Garrigan will start 1st and 10 at the 19-yard line.
Well, that might be the best punt cover we've seen all year. Beautiful spiraling kick. 3 guys there for the Warriors on coverage. Mike Joyce had nowhere to go. Nice job on them. You know, it didn't work out as they hoped, but I applaud them for winning the toss and taking the ball. No sense in deferring to the Golden Bears till the second half. You got, you know, you're the underdogs here. You got to get the ball and go for it.
Yeah, you've got to try to set the tone early. As Bishop Garrigan, they average 58.4 points per game, number 8 in the 8-player class. North Union allowing just under 26. They are 14th in defense in 8-man football. Power I formation. Here's Marceau establishing the run, has a whole left side, spins off of 1 tackle, gets across the 25-yard line to the 26 as he gains some extra yards after the initial contact. Give Marceau a pickup of 6 on the play.
Boy, the defensive end, Kyan Walter, got in there and got an arm on Marceau. That really was key because that slowed him down and stopped Marceau from having a full head of steam. Get a nice little spin move to get out of that arm tackle, though.
There was a big hole on the left side as it's 2nd down and 4. Michael Joyce, short side of the field to the left. Furch in the shotgun with Marceau as Joyce goes in jet motion. They will give it to Joyce running right side. Bobbles the football but recovers it as that almost squeezed out of his hands. Joyce will gain 1 yard on the play, running into the waiting arms of Max Merrill. Nearly trouble on the handoff for Bishop Garrigan.
Wow, he bobbled that ball for 7 yards as he ran laterally. Just kind of tip-top, kind of hot potatoing it to himself as he ran. Boy, the Bears are lucky that he didn't get popped and that ball go flying the other direction towards the North Union goal.
3rd and 3 for the Golden Bear offense. Tate Furch, who's completing 66.7% of his passes underneath center. He'll pitch wide side of the field to Marceau. Running around the 30. Marceau to the 35. He's to the 40. He's into the sideline and out of bounds. 1st down, Bishop Garrigan. Run out by Cale Jones, but an easy run there for Marceau to move the chains.
Great blocking up front. Credit to Rosemeyer there. The tight end got a great block on the defensive end. Walter, who we just mentioned a second ago. Rosemeyer is one of those kids, boy, he's really improved through the season. I think he's grown during the season, too. He looks a lot bigger out there, number 5 does.
Marceau came into the game 902 rushing yards, 21 touchdowns on 9.1 yards per carry. As Furch is alone in the gun, trips to the right. Quick hitter outside to Joyce. Catches at the 35-yard line, runs to the sideline just shy of the 30. As he'll be marked out at the 32-yard line, picking up a modest gain. We'll call it about 5 on that 1st down pickup.
Modest gain, but I love that play. Get that ball to Joyce. They pulled the backside guard, which is Carter Schwab, and he ran down the line just head hunting for someone to hit. And no one wanted to get hit by him. They all ran away from him, and Joyce got what he could.
Yeah, I mean, Michael Joyce, here's a guy who every time he touches the ball, he could potentially score a touchdown for Garrigan, so you've got to try to get it in his hands one way or the other. Back to the power I. Marceau takes the handoff left side. Great blocking again. Marceau stiff arm. 25, 20, 15, 10, and he's running to the boundary just outside of the 5-yard line. Even Marceau eating up yardage early on like it's Halloween candy, and Bishop Garrigan's inside the red power red zone.
Yeah, that is a treat for the Bears to have that guy in the backfield. Doesn't matter if he's fullback or tailback. You got to feel good when it goes in Marceau's hands. But you called it right off the bat there, Tyler. Great blocking up front. Everybody got a seal block, and their backfield motion between Furch and Marceau was so quick. He was past the linemen before they had a chance.
Unbalanced line this time for Bishop Garrigan with Schwab and Lear both on the right side. Graves is going to snap it to Furch. Hand off to Marceau. Marceau working the right side, jumps over the pile, lunges toward the goal line and down at the 2 as Marceau went flying like Superman, picks up 4 yards.
We do not see Ethan Marceau leave his feet very much. First of all, running backs coach, they say never leave your feet, but sometimes guys do. But Marceau much prefers to lower the shoulder and run people over, but teams have become wary. They're going for his shins.
2nd and goal from the 2-yard line. Power I again. Furch is going to sneak it off the left side. Furch galloping into the end zone for a touchdown. Great blocking again as Schwab's all the way in the back of the end zone right now after completing his block. And Bishop Garrigan punches it in on their opening drive.
They go left right behind Caden Graves, the center, and Schwab, the guard. And easy pickings. Furch actually went laterally about 3 yards to go in off the guard tight end combo. But, boy, that quarterback sneak, pretty powerful when you're in within 2 yards if you're the Bears.
Yeah, pretty devastating for opposing defenses, as has been the case for multiple years with this dominant Garrigan offensive line. The swinging gate is over to the left. Now Furch will call it back in with Graves to long snap it, and Gage Meyer to kick the PAT. Meyer 34 out of 41 on PATs this year. Actually tied with North Union's kicker Christian Reyes for 4th in the 8-player class for those 34 PATs. Snap is good to Furch. Ball is down. Meyer is into it. That kick is up, and it is good. Bishop Garrigan grabs the early 7-0 lead. 8:03 left in the first quarter on Home Country Radio, KLGZ.
High school sports on Hometown Home Country Radio, brought to you by these fine sports boosters.
Greg Penny and Company, certified public accountants, where everyone counts.
Albert Electric, flip the switch to Neil Albert Electric.
Dump It, Kasuth County's local and reliable waste service provider for commercial and residential customers in our area.
Glenn's Green Thumb, paint your outdoor space with inspiration from Glenn's Green Thumb, North Main Street, Algona.
Weikert Realtors, the 515 Agency, a fresh approach to real estate.
Tom Eischen Sales, your store in the country, carrying steel and Toro products and Green Mountain pellet grills.
All sponsors of this broadcast.
We welcome you back to Conway Field, where Bishop Garrigan forces a North Union 3 and out, then marches down on their opening drive, with Tate Furch capping it off on a 2-yard quarterback sneak. Bishop Garrigan 7, North Union nothing. Even Marceau to kick right to left with 8:03 left in the first quarter. Carson Crouch back deep to receive again for North Union. Marceau into the ball, and he'll line drive it down the middle of the field. That one's going to get back to Crouch on the hop. Fields at the 4 and returns near side up the numbers to the 15, to the 20, to the 25, trying to squeeze through a gap, but he's stopped by C.J. McGregor out at the 27-yard line after a quick return by Crouch, and North Union will try to reload here and match Bishop Garrigan's score.
It's got to be a heart-raising endeavor for the Bears. Every time Crouch catches that ball in stride like that, he had a full head of steam, headed upfield. Titan Troyer was on the edge there, did a great job of just kind of waiting and fighting off the block, but that allowed Crouch to get a lot of yardage. You got number 20, because I think that's Carter Sink down there. He was upset he didn't make that tackle, but they got him.
In the shotgun is Colgrove. Furch late getting off the field for Bishop Garrigan, but dead in time to avoid the 9 men on the field penalty. You give to Keeler, trying the left side, and he is snowed under. Buried in the backfield as Schwab pops out of the pile, popping his arms. Big penetration there for the Golden Bears, and a 2-yard loss.
Well, besides fighting off his blocker and making a great tackle, I think Schwab's a little excited about that with the big flex, because that was a big trick-looking play. They had a lot of motion going on in the backfield. 3 different ball carriers were potential there, but Schwab picked the right one in that 3-game Monty going on in the backfield.
Max Merrill, the center, wearing the Guardian cap on his head, is over the football with Colgrove in the shotgun, Keeler on his right side. Colgrove fakes to Keeler for the block. Colgrove steps up, and he cannot escape. Schwab grabs him again. McGregor helps finish him off, and that'll go as the second Hy-Vee sack of the night for the Golden Bears. Colgrove will lose 1 yard.
Probably a good decision by Colgrove. He was looking deep. He had 3 receivers about 15 to 20 yards deep. Great coverage there by Troyer, Joyce, and I think that was one of the linebackers dropped into coverage. No, that was Furch. And all those D-backs for Garrigan, Furch, Joyce, and Troyer, were on the receivers in single coverage. Pretty good coverage there.
It's now McGregor, Besch, and Rosenmeyer on the Bishop Garrigan defensive line. The challenge is up front for North Union with Brune, Merrill, and Nicholson to try to hold off this Garrigan pass rush as Marceau shows blitz. Things are spread out. 4 wideouts for North Union as Marceau now drops back. Hoy motions tight to the line, and there's a flag on the play.
Ran out of time, I think, to delay a game. I think they were thinking so much about this potential Bishop Garrigan blitz coming.
And it is a delay of game. A 3rd down and 13. It now turns into a 3rd down and 18 for North Union. And that is critical stuff here to try to get these first downs, but a huge penalty to back them up to a 3rd and a mile.
Well, like you said, Tyler, Marceau was showing blitz. I don't think he was going to, but McGregor was also over there bouncing, but he always is. You got to watch Carter McGregor on these 3rd down situations. He loves to get that QB.
Back to throw. It's Colgrove. He steps up. He's got some pressure. Rosenmeyer's got him, and he drops him at the 15-yard line. Bishop Garrigan picks up another sack, and North Union has stalled out on offense on back-to-back drives. 3 and outs to start the game.
Oh, good play by Rosenmeyer. Well, you know, so many seniors graduated last year, and now I feel like we got another huge senior class. Boy, that Garrigan just keeps reloading.
It's another punt for North Union, down 7-0 with 6:02 left in the first quarter, and they have gone backwards on offense so far with the big-time pressure on Colgrove. Crouch, low-line drive near side of the field, takes a friendly North Union roll down to the 30-yard line. Joyce wanted to pick it up but lets it go as the defense was bearing down, and Colin Cruz, the sophomore for North Union, will down it at the 29-yard line.
Good decision by Joyce there. The reason I bring up all these seniors reloading is because we've said the name Rosenmeyer in the broadcast for like the last 10 years. It is a big families extended, and there always seems to be a Rosenmeyer in one of these teams that we're calling out.
Yeah, fresh supply, and you know, they play the same position too. We had Wyatt Rosenmeyer tight end, Weston Rosenmeyer's a tight end as well. So there's a lot of similarities there as far as the recent Rosenmeyers here on the Golden Bears. This time Hayden Miller will be the right side tight end for Bishop Garrigan. as Tate Furch will come out underneath center. Marceau winged up to the right side. He's got C.J. McGregor in the backfield. The give to McGregor. He evades traffic. He weaves out to the right side, steps past the line of scrimmage, and gets out to about the 32-yard line. He'll pick up 3 on the first down carry.
Boy, they had Marceau out wide to block for C.J. going to the outside, and all the blocking was so good on the outside. Someone snuck up to the middle for the Warriors. I didn't see who it was, but they kind of altered the play. That was key. All the blockers are getting so excited. They're getting downfield a little too fast. They got to hold that block long enough for C.J. to get behind them.
Michael Joyce out to the left, wide side of the field, covered by Cale Jones. Tate Furch in the shotgun. It's going to be a draw to Marceau. Marceau off the right side, lowers the boom, runs over a man and spins forward. Crouch absorbed that Marceau hit, but he makes the tackle 1 yard shy of the first down, but the physical tone being set early on.
Well, Crouch hit him low, but Ethan has gotten so good with his agility of maintaining the grinding legs while he's getting hit in the legs low to the ground. Boy, he got at least 3 to 4 extra yards there after the contact.
Yeah, you talk about low pad level. Those guys are both basically on top of the turf. Here's a sneak left side. Furch trying to break it to the outside. Gets past the line to gain, and he is tackled by Cale Jones and Cooper Hoy on the play. But it's another 3 or 4 yard pickup, and it's another first down for Bishop Garrigan to the North Union 38.
Well, what a luxury for Furch behind that offensive line for Garrigan. Quarterback sneaks usually go right behind the center, trying to pick up something quick right up the middle. But this line, Furch just bides his time, and he actually goes laterally and runs down the line a little bit on the QB sneak.
Yeah, he's bounced it outside for a couple of big games on quarterback sneaks this year. Dalton Clens out to the right. That's the wide side. Joyce left to the short side of the field. Here comes Clens in motion towards us as Furch fakes to him, rolls out to the right. Furch is being chased. Furch unloads down the field, and low for Rosenmeyer, incomplete. Almost got past the line of scrimmage there, but he was pursued on the play by Jeffrey Walker as it's 2nd down and 10.
Well, very good coverage by the Warriors there. I think that was the cornerback in coverage there. But he was in good position, and Furch threw it low, which was good because if he throws it up a little bit, that could have been a pick. But Furch put it only where his receiver had a chance, not a great chance.
2nd down and 10 for the Golden Bears. The center, Caden Graves, over top of the football as Furch this time is underneath center. Even Marceau is the lone setback with 4:16 left in the first. The give to Marceau, works the right side, gets through the crease. He's across the 30 to the 25, dragging Cale Jones down to the 21-yard line. Even Marceau is just ripping off chunks of grass so far in this game, and Bishop Garrigan moves the chains again.
Boy, they've been running left. That time they run right behind big Nate Lear. Nate just blew out the outside defensive end, and Marceau tucked in right between there in the B gap, I think they call it. And boy, he hit that with a full head of steam.
So Bishop Garrigan knocking on the door of the Red Power Red Zone. 1st and 10 from the North Union 21-yard line, already leading 7-0. McGregor winged up to the left. He'll block out in front for C.J. McGregor. He's got a convoy. He's to the 10, cuts back inside to the 5. C.J. McGregor's going in for the touchdown. Schwab leading the way, and Carter McGregor as well. And C.J. McGregor goes nearly untouched for a 21-yard score.
Wow, great downfield blocking by Schwab, showing his speed. And he gets down there and has a chance that maybe it might be an illegal block, but he moves his body and kind of gives the guy a forearm shiver and sends him flying, and that's all it needed.
So 13-0 Bishop Garrigan, 3:44 left in the first quarter. With the swinging gate over to left, Furch wanting to run this play here. He takes it. Furch is running right side, gets a block from Graves, and he'll skip into the end zone for a 2-point try. Bishop Garrigan 15, North Union nothing. 3:44 left in the first on Home Country Radio, KLGZ.
Thank you to these sports boosters bringing you this game on Hometown Home Country Radio.
J&J Custom Meats located in Whittemore, continuing the tradition.
West Bend Ford, meeting your service, new car sales, and used car sales needs.
Tangle Salon for all your cuts, colors, hair extensions, and massage therapy needs.
Fairway Meat and Grocery. Everything's easier, fresher, and faster with Algona Fairway.
Lusher Family Dentistry, serving your family since 1965 on Call Street in Algona.
Ulrich Construction, let them do the work.
Trend Salon, your complete family hair salon. It's all about you.
Bringing you this game on Hometown Home Country Radio.
Bishop Garrigan fans doing the wave to try to stay warm as the Golden Bears are on top 15-0. It's another short kickoff. Whaley's trying to chase it down. It's towards the boundary and out of bounds at the 29-yard line. They threw a flag for kickoff out of bounds, but I thought Whaley touched that ball, which would make that no longer a penalty. In any case, though, it'll be good starting field position for North Union as Marceau, I don't know if that was on purpose again, Beanie, but he kind of squibbed it over to the right side, and North Union had to kind of chase after that to get there in time.
I think he's just so focused on not kicking it to Crouch that he's trying to do a little too much kicking away from him, and it's getting off the edge of his foot. a little bit. But Whaley definitely did touch that before it went out of bounds. I learned something about the touch rule, but I don't think it applies on kickoffs. But on punts, if the kicking team touches it, the returning team gets the ball in the initial touch, but the ball stays live, and I didn't realize that last week. I learned something in this job, Tyler.
We learn from the high school officials around the state all the time here. There's always some sort of rule that maybe we haven't seen in a while or something that gets brought up, but everyone we know has us covered. As there's a counter run play to Keeler. He gets to the edge. Keeler driving the legs forward near the first down sticks. Depends where he steps out. And a late flag on the play along the North Union sideline. That flag came out about 5 seconds after the play was over as Keeler got a good run there on first down, but he stepped out after about 5.
Usually when we see flags that late, something regarding language is usually involved in some sort of unsportsmanlike. But we shall see what the officials, they're huddling up right now and talking about what they heard, saw. But I don't think there's anything illegal happening in the football play.
Yeah, it's got to be a after the penalty, or I should say after the play, dead ball type of foul, but we will wait for the official call. That's one of the few times, though, we've seen someone get around the edge against Bishop Garrigan.
After the play was over, personal foul, late hit out of bounds.
Late hit out of bounds. It's called against Michael Joyce, and this penalty will march North Union all the way to the Bishop Garrigan 32-yard line. So for a Warrior offense that has struggled to gain yardage so far, that is a breath of fresh air.
Well, that will get them an extra 6 yards for on top of what they, or not on top of what they got on play, because they marched that off from the line of scrimmage, which was interesting. I think it would have been from the spot of the foul.
Right, that should have been from the spot of the foul. And it was kind of unclear where Keeler stepped out. I think he stepped out a little earlier. Because he kept running down the sideline after that first foot touched out of bounds.
Yeah, because I saw the official start marching from about the 37, and I thought he clearly made it over midfield. But, again, I'm not on that far sideline. Tyler, my eyes are playing tricks on me, but, boy, these North Union numbers are really hard for me to see.
Well, hey, it's the green numbers. They match with the grass beanie. Hard to see that far away.
You've got the youthful eyes there, Tyler. Wait till you get to be my age and lose your hair and everything.
I know, for people who are not here at the game, Beanie's up here. He's dressed like Dick Vitale. He's got the what should I call that, a bald cap on right now?
Well, I hope it's a bald cap. Otherwise, I'm really bald. But it's playoffs, baby.
Oh, my gosh, yes. Beanie's playing the part well.
And Tyler, of course, here is Brent Musburger wearing the trench coat well for the cold weather game, the Muss.
Yeah, the trench coat, huge key tonight to stay warm.
You got to celebrate Halloween, Tyler, right?
Oh, absolutely. One of the best holidays. I never have any good ideas, Beanie, so that's why I rely on you to bring this trench coat out here.
I believe I see the Thing down there in the stands walking in. That's a great costume. Hats off to that person.
I saw one of the Garrigan students. They were John Daly. Have you seen that golfer in the eccentric way that he dresses?
I know John Daly. I haven't seen the student, though. That's great fun.
Back to throws Colgrove. On first down, he's taking a deep shot down the field. He's got Cooper Hoy wide open, and he's going in for a North Union touchdown. Hoy got past Furch, and for the 4th game in a row, Hoy has caught a touchdown pass. What a response from the Warriors. They take advantage of a Bishop Garrigan penalty, and then they take the deep shot for the touchdown.
Wow, could not have been a prettier thrown ball. That was just beautiful. Furch, the QB for Garrigan, was back in coverage, and he had to just look up and say, that's a nice pass. He put that where I can't get it. Just perfect, caught in stride, beautiful touchdown connection.
Hoy touchdown catch number 7, Colgrove touchdown pass number 11 of the season, as the PAT will be attempted by Christian Reyes, who's made 34 out of 45, but went over 3 last week as the kick is up, and the kick is good. North Union on the board. That's a big shot of confidence for the Warriors as it's back down to a 1-possession game. Bishop Garrigan 15, North Union 7 on Home Country Radio, KLGZ.
High school sports on Hometown Home Country Radio, brought to you by these sports boosters.
Farmers State Bank, a strong history, a bright future.
Iowa Lakes Community College, your community, your college.
PMC Advantage Insurance Services. Having the advantage makes all the difference.
Northwest Iowa Bone, Joint, and Sports Surgeons, proud to serve area athletes.
Hy-Vee, use the Fuel Saver card. Fill your cart, fuel your car.
Farm Bureau Financial Agents Dave Beisch and Daniel Foth.
American Glass, for all your glass needs, think American.
Sponsoring this broadcast on Hometown Home Country Radio.
Here at Conway Field, North Union strikes back. Grayson Colgrove finding Cooper Hoy on a long touchdown pass, and it's Bishop Garrigan 15, North Union 7. Boy, what a shot in the arm for the Warrior team that started slow offensively, even a pair of 3 and outs, but they answer for a touchdown, and now their defense has to get into the game here and stop Bishop Garrigan as Reyes will kick it to one of the upbacks, and what a snag out of the air by Matt Besh. That ball is lined right to the chest in between the 4 and the 4 on his jersey, and he somehow squeezed that ball.
Wow, 9 times out of 10, a ball like that just ricochets off that up man's pads and goes flying, but Matt Besh with the hands. Wow, he just cradles that and secures the ball for great field position for Garrigan. Nice.
And Beanie, I'm not saying North Union is trying to onside kick it there, but if you line drive a ball to an up back, it might hit it and bounce right back to the kicking team and essentially result in an onside kick type of situation.
Boy, if they would have got that onside kick, talk about momentum, because that touchdown got them some momentum. We'll see if the Bears can get it back here as Marshall goes in motion.
Jumbo package of Kramer. They pull a couple of guys. A block by Kramer, run by Furch, and he's into the open. There goes Tate Furch. 25-20, 15-10. Goodbye. 43 yards to the house, and Bishop Garrigan punches right back.
Well, there's an answer. I was just about to say in the previous drives that Tate Furch is just doing what he does, just playing his part, doing his job, not making any mistakes, and you just know at one point that rattlesnake's going to bite, and there he goes right through the hole, gone immediately. Great run by Furch.
They pulled both Rosenmeyer and Kramer from left side over to the right, and that created a convoy for Tate Furch. Some devastating blocking by Bishop Garrigan, and it's 21-7 Golden Bears.
Yeah, he went off that right side. That's Lear and Caden Graves out there making that gap in the tight end. I didn't see who it was, but great job.
Furch flips it over to the left. Dalton Clens trying to get to the end zone. He breaks a tackle, and he's in for the 2-point conversion. Merrill almost had him, but Clens stepped out of that tackle, and it's 23-7 Golden Bears with 3:22 remaining in the first quarter. Well, Beanie, Here we go. So North Union last week, they're involved in a shootout with GTRA, 56-48, and all of a sudden, they haven't gotten a stop yet defensively. This puts a lot of pressure on the Warrior offense to replicate last week's performance and match Garrigan touchdown for touchdown.
Yeah, it sure does. They certainly got a lot of practice scoring last week against GTRA. That pass that they just completed was one of them. Well, we just saw 2 electric touchdowns, one by each team. That pass from Colgrove to Hoy, I thought it was overthrown, but Hoy had the great speed, and Furch showing some speed right there. Boy, he was through that line in a hurry and off to the races. And Marceau, let's see if he gets another kick again. You got to say one thing about the Garrigan kickers. They get lots of kickoff practice this year.
Gabe Whaley over on that far side better be ready just in case Marceau misfires on this one. North Union switching around the alignment here on the kickoff receive as Marceau's going to boom this one deep. Near the end zone, and at the 1, it's taken by Crouch. He can return this one. Up the right side hash to the 15, outside the numbers to the 20. A stiff arm on C.J. McGregor as he's out of bounds just shy of the 25-yard line. And the pressure right back on the North Union offense with 3:17 left in the first.
Well, Dalton Clens, the junior that just got the 2-point conversion, he had got down the field in a hurry with that speed, and he had a bead on the ball carrier, but he hesitated a little bit. He's that first guy down, you just got to go for it and trust your teammates are going to get it if you don't make that tackle.
This is a good North Union rushing offense, over 251 yards per game. It can't give up on the run yet. As motioning over towards the left is Crouch. Hoy, the tight end on the right side, and we've got a whistle before the play.
A lot of flinching on that offensive line. I think it's a cadence issue with the North Union quarterback, he just maybe changing the play, and a couple of his vocals made his linemen jump. Nothing the Garrigan guys did there.
They get the right guard Nickerson on that 5-yard penalty, a false start against North Union, and it's 1st and 15 from the 20-yard line.
Michael Joyce always calls the defensive plays in the defensive huddle. Madden Miller playing on the right defensive end, Rosemeyer on the other side, and then the big lineman in front.
That's Weston. You've got it right.
That is Weston, okay.
Colgrove with the keeper, runs left side behind the block of Henderson, and he is ripped down by Carter Schwab again at the line of scrimmage. In fact, even a 1-yard loss now for the spot.
Boy, Schwab is doing a great job anticipating the snap. He's got the cadence down, and he got a jump on that one. He was in the backfield immediately and just grabbed the arm of the ball carrier. They are lucky they held onto that ball the way Schwab bear hugged that arm and tried to yank it out there. All right, North Union, they got to come up with something big here in 2nd and forever.
2nd down, 16 from the 19-yard line, 2:47 and ticking. Drew Henderson, who missed the first matchup with an injury, is out to the right. Slot right is Hoy, getting some words from his quarterback, Grayson Colgrove, with 2 receivers, Crouch and Jones, out to the left. Merrill over the football. Garrigan has just 2 defensive linemen right there. The rush free of Marshall coming on the blitz. Schwab got held, but escaping is Colgrove. They didn't call it. Across the 30-yard line, out to the 32. Schwab's jersey was basically all the way stretched out, but that'd be a good game for Colgrove here, set up a 3rd and medium.
Carter Schwab is never one to be silent, regardless of the sport, and he's had a little conversation with the official, had his arm out. I imagine he was saying, did you not see that one? And as he goes back to the defensive huddle, boy, North Union did a nice job. They really spread the Bear defense out. They spread their offensive out real wide, and the Bears answered, and they were spread all over the field.
Yeah, the runs up the middle by the quarterback haven't been open until they spread things out wide. But that does have the double-edged sword of no running back healer in the game when you spread out like that. Motioning to the wingback spot is Crouch. Now Hoy goes in motion. They'll flip it over the middle, setting up the screen to Crouch. And that is read by Matt Miller, who rips him down for a 2-yard loss. All kinds of movement before the snap, and Matt Miller stayed disciplined. It is 4th down and about 6 for the Warriors.
Matt Miller, such a versatile player. He can play on the defensive end spot, the linebacker spot, and he's got the speed that he can drop back into coverage and play defensive back if they need him to. Same thing with Rosemeyer in there. A lot of flexibility on the defense for Bishop Garrigan.
Crouch is the punter. Michael Joyce running back there late to make sure North Union's not going for it here. Crouch on 4th and 5, unloads a spiraling kick near side of the field. It hops towards Joyce, a friendly North Union roll. Joyce fought about grabbing it, but it'll stay away at the last minute as it'll roll down to the 15-yard line and get downed by Casey Rezak.
Titan Troyer protesting that he got taken down like a wrestling move by Cooper Hoy there as Cooper was trying to get down into coverage. Those two got tangled up. Troyer he's a sophomore, has not played a ton of football games, I imagine, in his career thus far. And it'll be fun to see him just get used to this game.
Not one of the Golden Bears who was banged up, injuries throughout the season, missed most of the games, but both these teams getting healthy just in time for the playoffs. The injury list's really short heading into tonight. As Bishop Garrigan has it, 1st and 10 with 1:04 left in the first quarter.
Ooh.
Ball's at the 15.
Furch came in with the play, told his team, and he looks excited. I think they're going to dial up something big here on 1st down.
2 receivers are out to the left side of the field. That's the wide side. Furch, quick hitter out to Joyce, looking for blocks. Schwab on the edge. He lays a good block. Joyce scrambles forward across the 20. He's out just shy of the 25-yard line, but he gained 10 on the play and moves the sticks.
Ooh, that was close. I don't know who the Warrior was. I think it wasn't Hoy. It was their linebacker, and he is a step from doing a pick 6 right there, because that swing pass to the left, if they read that well, that's one they can march right to the end zone. But Furch zipped it past him just in time.
Yeah, those screen passes, they're an exercise in precision. You're trying to sometimes draw the rush in as a quarterback, or sometimes trying to get that defense to go a little too far up the field. You've got to be very on point as a quarterback when you're running those screens. 4 left on the play clock. Furch lifting the right leg. He'll give to Marceau. Marceau hit in the backfield by Walter. He got loose. He breaks the Hoy tackle. He rumbles forward across the 30-yard line, evading tacklers and picking up a 5-yard gain to the 31.
Well, it's 8-player football, and 5 people couldn't bring Marceau down there. Eventually, they got 3 of them together, and they brought him to the ground as the clock is ticking down, 30 seconds left in the quarter. That's what I thought we'd see, Tyler. I thought we'd see a lot of just Ethan Marceau grinding, but the Bears have opened it up a bit there, throwing the ball on 1st down to Joyce.
Cole Nickerson and Carson Crouch credited for that last tackle. We've seen Marceau rip off a lot of big gains as well, 10-plus yard runs to keep Bishop Garrigan out of 3rd down situations tonight. Tate Furch with 11 seconds left in the quarter. He'll take the run. Marceau lead blocking. Schwab pulling as well. Furch around the corner. He's got the 1st down. Big push from behind as Walter popped him in the back and pushed him across midfield. 1st down Golden Bears with 5 seconds left in the quarter.
Fantastic blocking. Not going to single anyone out. It was just the whole team doing great blocking down the line. Furch, however, does a nice job of waiting for those blocks.
The first quarter comes to an end. Bishop Garrigan with the early advantage. They've scored 3 times, that is, and driving here on their 4th drive of the game. 23-7 Golden Bears moving to the 2nd on Home Country Radio, KLGZ.
Thank you to these sports boosters bringing you this game on Hometown Home Country Radio.
Iowa State Bank, helping people succeed.
Algona Livestock, sales every Monday.
Algona Frame and Auto Body, we meet by accident.
Farm and Home Services, view their listings at farmhomeservices.com.
Holmes Animal Clinic, animals large and small, they love them all.
Engineered Farm Drainage, specializing in drainage tile solutions. Visit them on Facebook or engineeredfarmdrainage.com.
All sponsors of this game broadcast.
More sports boosters bringing you this broadcast.
The Water Connection, from softeners to bottled water and service, call 295-SOFT.
Good Samaritan Society Algona, senior housing and services rooted in God's love.
Schindler Lawn Care and Landscaping. Call 515-320-3840 or schindlerlawncare@gmail.com.
Feed Mill Coffee Company, Algona's locally owned coffee shop.
Billy Offerman, your State Farm insurance agent in Algona. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Signworks for all your signage needs, as well as printed shirts, caps, and jackets. Stop in or call 295-9544.
All bringing you this game.
Start of the second quarter of Bishop Garrigan leading North Union 23-7 in this round of 16 matchup. On 1st and 10, Furch is back to throw all day as he'll shoot it down the left side, looking for a big play, and it falls incomplete. He was targeting Michael Joyce, who is blanketed by Cale Jones. Ball incomplete at the 10-yard line, and it's 2nd down and 10.
Well, they did a stop-and-go move. Furch kind of did a shoulder fake like he was going to throw the short pass to Joyce, who that was a signal for send Joyce long. And good speed by the coverage there. Hoy, two guys out there on coverage, but Furch gave Joyce a chance, who's excellent at high pointing the ball. That time, not so much. But why not take a shot on 1st down? Here comes 2nd.
The winner in this game moving on to Thursday night to face the winner of Don Bosco and Clarksville. We'll try to find a score on that one at halftime, but no promises here, folks. My hands are pretty cold to be doing some scrolling on the computer as it's 2nd down and 10. Furch, inside handoff to C.J. McGregor, and he slips on the grass. He had a big gain, but he fell down at the line of scrimmage with that knee touching, and it's 3rd and 10.
Oh, I love that play. A little bit of a lineman counter. They kind of faked the pitch out that way and handed to C.J. coming back through the middle. Beautiful setup, but he slipped a little bit there. I bet C.J. was eyeing a lot of green downfield.
McGregor's a guy who averages over 10 yards per pop on the ground this season, and sometimes really only getting 5-6 carries a game, but making the most of them. As Bishop Garrigan sends 2 receivers left, it's Clens wide left, Joyce right next to him in the slot, and the tight end Mad Miller on the right side of Weston Rosenmeyer on the left. They'll pull Nate Lear from the right guard spot. As Furch tries to get around the corner, Furch is hit by Hoy, and he is spun down after a modest gain. He did not get the 1st down. It'll be 4th down and 6 from the 35-yard line.
Well, trying to grind it out there. Lear, the pulling guard, had success running the ball. Bears are in hurry up. I don't have time to talk.
They're going tempo here, 4th and 6. As North Union's trying to get lined up, and Bishop Garrigan might have caught them. Warriors jumped off sides as Graves goes sprawling to the ground. As long as Garrigan didn't move first.
Yeah, the officials are going to talk about this, but Graves hit the deck. He got pushed, and he did some great acting there. He doesn't go down that easy.
Or was there a timeout before the play? Because North Union was having trouble getting lined up, Beanie, so they may have called the timeout from the sideline.
Well, it's clearly got to be something that is rehearsed by the Bears to act like you're in hurry up and then know that you're going on 2 just to drive off sides. That's definitely rehearsed in practice.
A timeout by North Union, much to the dismay of the home crowd down beneath us here, but Warriors got the timeout off in time.
I don't think that would have been a 1st down. It's not an automatic 1st down, is it?
No, it would have been 4th down and 1.
Yeah, 4th and 1. Okay, so still a good timeout there by the North Union Warriors. Get that timeout called. Now the Bears can think about what kind of play they want to do 4th and 6.
Well, Bishop Garrigan, you feel like these 4th down situations, you get to a 4th and 1, it's pretty much an automatic quarterback sneak, but 4th and 6, this playbook is wide open. I mean, Marshall's been picking up more than 6 yards per carry tonight, but even on this cold night, Tate Furch still putting great touch on the ball, so it's one of those, if you're North Union, you can't just assume this is going to be a pass.
Right, and all the calls are easy when you're up 23-7 in the second quarter, so they could probably just go with whatever they feel like is the best bet. You ask your players in this situation, hey, who thinks they can get a seal block? What gap should we run? You can discuss those things in the huddle, see which players feel confident. But, all the confidence there in Furch. Such a durable quarterback running the ball. He's been the guy so far that's been a surprise to the Warriors. C.J. McGregor on the sideline, yet so is Marshall. Who's running the ball in there?
Furch does have over 650 yards on the ground so far this season, as Bishop Garrigan's going to empty out the formation. Mad Miller out to the left, Michael Joyce to the right. And 1 tight end each side of the line. Actually, that's Clens out to the left for the Golden Bears as Furch is deep in the shotgun. He steps forward, now he drops back. Here comes the rush of the middle as Furch escapes left, and he's going to pull it down and run. Looking for the 1st down, 6, and he has it. Forced out of bounds by Cale Jones, but that's a 9-yard pickup by Tate Furch on 4th and 6, and the Golden Bears keep the drive moving.
Oh, I like the call there. When in doubt, let Furch figure it out. He just gets in that no running backs back there all by himself. He faked like he was going to run with the middle, which was a great fake because North Union did not fall for it when Bishop Garrigan spread it out. They've played Garrigan before. They know that just because the formation is spread out doesn't mean Furch isn't going to run up the middle, but he fakes up the middle, comes back, fakes the pass, He's doing it all, and then he runs outside.
And Beanie, that's a little Mahomey. The Chiefs can spread it out. Patrick Mahomes with the designed runs or even the improvised runs as well is taking it up the middle as Marceau scrapping his way forward down to the 20-yard line as it's another solid pickup. 6 on first down for the sledgehammer, Ethan Marceau.
Well, if Furch is looking like Mahomes with all the fakes and the ball hanging out there, then what does Marceau look like there? Who's the battering ram in the NFL? None of the running backs
Marceau
do that.
looks like a running back from 1920 who wears a leather helmet and just overwhelms the opponent with farm strength.
Yeah, he's a Herschel Walker. Just run hard and run people over.
I like that, yeah. But Marceau, with the physical running so far, has it with a 2nd down and 4. Bishop Garrigan in the red power red zone at the 20-yard line. Matt Miller on the right side as the tight end. Weston Rosemeyer, the left side tight end, with McGregor on the wing. Marceau runs out to the right side. Furch looking for space in the middle, picks his way forward inside the 20, down to the 18. He got 2 in the play, and it'll be 3rd and 2 for the Golden Bears.
Well, it's an interesting formation, interesting motion. They send Marceau in motion, swinging out wide like he's going to get a swing pass. North Union didn't really go for that fake. No one went with him, but they got to be thinking, wow, what if they actually swing it out to Marceau there, have him all alone on the sideline, one-on-one? That's trouble.
So 3rd down and 2, 4-down territory for the Golden Bears. If they don't get it here, power I formation, Furch under center, McGregor and Marceau in the backfield. Linebackers creeping up for the Warriors. They give it to Marceau, takes it right side, drives his way forward, keeps the legs churning, and has the 1st down. Marceau toppled over by a couple of Warriors, being pushed from the top that time by Cole Nickerson, and it is crouched down low, but it's another chain-moving play for Bishop Garrigan.
Yeah, chain moving is right. I know there's a lot of people down there in the fans, especially students, and even some of those guys on the sidelines in their warm coats saying, let's do the exciting plays. When are we going to go for the big flashy stuff? But these kind of plays are the ones that win the championships. Grind them out, use the clock.
Another unbalanced formation this time for Bishop Garrigan with Schwab and Lear over to the left. Graves has the tight end to his right side as Furch will take and give to Marceau. Marceau looking for space in the middle, and this time he is stonewalled. Hit up high by Cooper Hoy and spun down. Probably just got back to the line of scrimmage there as there's not a ton of positive yardage to be had. Nickerson clogged things up down low.
Well, the Bears got a good push off the bat, but the pressure came in from the outside in as North Union had everybody in the box. And Bears once again maybe got off their blocks a little too early and went downfield. Couldn't pick up much.
So Bishop Garrigan still hanging out inside the Red Power Red Zone. Brought to you by your local Red Power team in Bancroft, Corwolf, West Bend, and Humboldt. We'll call it 2nd down and 9 from the 11-yard line. Marceau's on a wing to the left. C.J. McGregor this time in the backfield as Furch will pitch it out to McGregor. Marceau trying to seal the edge. McGregor cuts back inside. He jitterbugs his way down to the 6-yard line, and he got popped by Cole Nickerson, who's been all over the place so far. Shy of a 1st down, but sets up a 3rd at about 4 for Bishop Garrigan, even making a 3rd and 3.
Well, McGregor is such a contrast to Marceau. Once the Warriors get used to Marceau coming at him, and then all of a sudden they see C.J. McGregor darting around back there. It's such a different contrast of running backs. Very effective. Now both from the back, I formation, my favorite.
How about this? It's Bishop Garrigan's Larry Zonka and Mercury Morris.
Oh, here they come. Who's going to get it? But I smell touchdown.
Tate Furch on 3rd and 2 gives to Marceau from the fullback spot. He drives forward. He powers the legs. He pushes towards the goal line, and he's going in. Pure physicality by Bishop Garrigan, enforcing their will and scoring again of Marceau.
Boy, that I formation when the chips are down, if there's a tight game here down the future, that I formation for Garrigan with their offensive line and Marceau blocking up front and C.J. McGregor with his skills, that is simple but deadly.
Absolutely forceful for Bishop Garrigan. 29-7 with 7:54 remaining in the 2nd quarter. Graves is over top of the football. Remember, Furch ran it out of this formation last time, but this swinging gate will come back in as Colgrove had that gap covered up this time that was open on the last run. They will just go for the Gage Meyer PAT as they'll block it up for him. The snap by Graves, the hold by Furch, the kick by Meyer, and the operation is good, and so is the PAT. 30-7 Golden Bears, 7:54 left in the 2nd on Home Country Radio, KLGZ.
Thank you to these sports boosters bringing you this game on Hometown Home Country Radio.
Daylight Donuts, open early with delicious donuts and great coffee.
Lichter's Garage Door Service and new installations. A reputation you can trust. Call 295-5988.
TAFE Wellness Center in Algona and Armstrong, keeping athletes in the game with chiropractic care. Take charge of your health.
Steyr Ag Aviation, aerial and ground application agronomy services.
State Line Cooperative, real people, real pride.
Redding Gravel and Excavating, serving Algona and the surrounding area since 1948.
All sponsors of this game broadcast.
Back here at Conway Field, where Bishop Garrigan has extended their lead 30-7 over the North Union Warriors. Ethan Marceau into the football. It's a high end-over-end kick. Crouch sprints up to catch it at the 10-yard line. Returns up the middle to the 20, trying to bounce to the outside 25. Some space for Crouch, 30, 35 down the sideline, and run out of bounds by C.J. McGregor, just shy of midfield, but Carson Crouch showing the shiftiness and explosiveness to get out to the 38-yard line.
What a run by Crouch. That's why the Bears were kicking away from him. He's had 2 chances to get his hands on the ball, and both fantastic returns. I'm sorry, 3 times he's had great returns there. So the Bears only netted about 12 yards on that kickoff because of the great return by the Warriors.
All right, well, Warrior offense 1st and 10 from near midfield. 7:47 on the clock and down 30-7 against Bishop Garrigan. Not the start they were looking for here so far as Jones is out to the wide side of the field. Colgrove will walk up to his center, Max Merrill, and call out some changes here. The fake to Keeler. Keeler blocks. Colgrove fires. Jones bobbles and catches near side, and he slips down. He was trying to juke Michael Joyce, but the grass takes another victim there, and it'll be just a 5-yard gain for Jones.
Colgrove looking smart there. It's always great when a quarterback is obviously calling an audible and it works. You always hate to be that QB that audibles into something that doesn't work, but nice. He saw that. He was going to have a coverage out there on the flat that he could handle. Nice pass by Colgrove. We've seen him connect on that brilliant touchdown pass to Hoy. They're in range to do that again if they want to go for it.
20 receptions now in the season for Cale Jones, the North Union senior. Hoy is over, winged up on the right side. Keeler in the backfield with Colgrove. It's a pitch outside to Keeler, and that ball took a long time to get there. It is bobbled. It's on the ground. Who's got it? Bishop Garrigan does. It's a turnover by North Union. That long pitch went off the hands of Keeler, and Bishop Garrigan comes out with the football.
Well, I saw Carter McGregor go Superman diving in there after that ball, but I don't think he's the one that came up with it. I think that maybe Troyer got in there and got it, but yeah, that ball was never secured on that little swing pass. And that's what we're talking to the Chem key to the game, turnovers, baby. It's hard to hold on to that ball when it's cold and you're not used to it. I mean, the QBs and the running backs, they handle it all the time. But that guy, first time I think he's touched the ball tonight.
Well, we've got a score update to get to here, and that is the 25th forced turnover by Bishop Garrigan this year. Don Bosco, right now they lead Clarksville 21-18 with 3:23 left in the first half. We thank our station manager, Bernie Merrill, for sending in that update as she is on top of that one. So, again, winner of Don Bosco and Clarksville. They play the winner in this game as a timeout is called on the field. We'll step aside for a quick timeout as well. Get a quick word in from our sponsors here on Home Country Radio, KLGZ.
We've got more sports club members making this broadcast possible on Hometown and Home Country Radio.
Schumacher Well and Water Care. You never know the value of water until the well runs dry.
Lance and Tracy Ludwig, your Channel C dealers in Wesley.
Triple W Livestock of Wesley.
Goshi Custom Cabinets. They'll meet all of your kitchen, countertop, and cabinet needs.
Grand Jeanette Jewelry in Algona. Think inside the box.
Sponsoring this broadcast on Hometown and Home Country Radio.
Bishop Garrigan 30, North Union 7 here at Conway Field, where Bishop Garrigan's won 19 straight times, plus 1 forfeit, dating back to their last loss at home in 2022. Again, I'm Tyler Lance alongside Beanie Bodie as we come out of this timeout. Bishop Garrigan has the football following North Union's first turnover of the night, as the field position will be at their own 38-yard line.
Just about midfield in this 8-player game. In case you're used to playing 11-player football all season and joining up and listening to this game, thanks for joining us.
Dalton Clens goes in motion for Bishop Garrigan to the left. And back to throws Furch. Good blocking up front. Furch now will shift over to the right. Eyes down the field. He's going to take a shot looking for Clens near the sideline and incomplete. He almost perfectly dropped that in the bucket, but it'll be 2nd down and 10.
I think Clens, who it was thrown to, inadvertently knocked it out of the possibility of Rosemeyer catching that, because Rosemeyer saw the ball from the air and was coming back to it. Either way, another incompletion for Furch, who's going to be pretty upset about his QB stats so far. He usually has a better percentage of completions by now.
That's sometimes the trade-off. You push the ball down the field a bit, and that completion percentage goes down, but it's not because Furch's passes are not giving his receivers a chance. 2nd down and 10. That extending the playability is really good for Tate Furch as well, as it'll be right back to Marceau. Marceau bouncing off the right side. Nickerson holds him up, though. Marceau still fighting forward. Nickerson has to grapple of him all the way to the 40-yard line as Marceau gains 2 out of that. Boy, that was a all-out war there between the 225-pound Nickerson and the 230-pound Marceau.
Yeah, boy, that was a battle. Now, I know Marceau's first cousin with one of these defensive linemen, but that wasn't his first cousin, so I guess they're not going to be friendly with each other. Boy, that's going to be some upset seniors. Furch and Marceau aren't used to having 3rd down and long after they both have unsuccessful plays. They're so used to this Bulls on Parade operation we'll see what they dial up here.
One tight end each side of the line for Bishop Garrigan. The receiver Joyce out to the left with Marceau on Furch's hip in the shotgun. North Union of two men having their hand in the dirt. Nickerson now puts his hand in the dirt as well as Furch pumps. He holds. Bishop Garrigan blocking big time. They're taking a shot to Joyce down the field, and it's incomplete. Physical coverage by Cale Jones again on Michael Joyce. And Bishop Garrigan faces a 4th down and 8 from the 40-yard line.
Oh, the second time they went to that well with the Furch throwing the little shoulder fake. Didn't work either time. I'm no expert on receiving. Michael Joyce is fantastic at high pointing the ball and meeting that ball right where only he can get it. He's got a great vertical. I think these last two, not so much. I think he's jumping a little early on these last two. I'll have to talk to him about that when he sees it on film.
Yeah, and Cale Jones brings some good size for North Union as well. Some good height out there on the perimeter to go up against Joyce. As Bishop Garrigan pretty much mask protected there, and ultimately the snap is high to Joyce on the punt, but he grabs it and he unloads quickly as that punt was nearly blocked by Kyan Walter. Ball will take a friendly North Union hop, and Garrigan downs it at the 20. Boy, Walter, number 61, nearly got through to Joyce after that high snap, but instead North Union will start in pretty normal position here at the, we'll call it now the 19-yard line where they spot it.
Good looking punt by Joyce. They have not had to punt much this season, and it's good to get a couple rehearsed punts in there. I mean, these games get tougher and tougher as the playoffs go on. You got to practice those punts. You're going to have to do it. Joyce really saved that from being a possible score for North Union with his vertical there. That snap would have gotten over most people on the team's head.
5:58 left in the second quarter. Colgrove gives to Keeler running right side on the counter. Keeler runs into a brick wall after getting past the 20. He'll be stopped after a 3-yard gain. That's the thing against this Garrigan defense. You don't usually fall forward when you're trying to run the ball. They usually push you backwards and don't let you get that extra half yard from the tumble forward.
Yeah, you got to play to the whistle. Keep those legs driving. Boy, Tyler, you said that Cale Jones had coverage on Joyce there when he tried to high point that ball. It already got me thinking. We've seen some great basketball battles between those two, and that's right around the corner, isn't it? These teams face up against each other in so many nights, so many sports.
Yeah, the longer you go into the postseason, the sooner that basketball matchup is waiting around the corner. Both these teams hoping to keep this football season going a little longer as here's the motion to Crouch, trying to get around the edge, and coming in to make the stop behind the line of scrimmage is Tate Furch. Carter Schwab held strong there on the edge, and Furch came shooting in at the 19-yard line to tackle Crouch.
Oh, number 7 tackles number 7. That makes it easy. Like you said, Schwab was stringing that play out, doing a great job. Heard the coaches up here saying he was getting held, and I don't think he cared. Those guys just had a hold of each other's shoulder pads, and Schwab was fine with stringing that play out, knowing that Furch was going to come up and make that tackle. You know, Schwab's really putting together a nice full package of a game here from his defensive and offensive lineman spots. He might be making an early play for player of the game, but we'll see what happens.
Well, Carter Schwab, most of Bishop Garrigan's linemen, wearing the short sleeves here tonight on this chilly Halloween evening. Empty formation for Colgrove. Marceau on the blitz. Colgrove lobs it down the near side for Jones, and he makes the catch. Tiptoes the sidelines, and he's out of bounds. He's snuck by Michael Joyce, and Cale Jones has it to the 28-yard line as North Union converts on a 3rd and 10-plus situation.
Wow, Joyce and Jones are having a battle tonight. Whoever's going on for a pass, those two are battling. That was a unbelievable catch by Jones. The concentration, Joyce was right in front of the path of the ball, and it's up in the lights, and quarterback threw it off his back foot. I was shocked to see that completed. I thought there's no way this pass is going to make it, but wow, Warrior strike.
Merrill over the football for North Union, their center. Pads pop down beneath us as Keeler has a whole right side. He's across the 25-yard line, and he is forced down at the 24. Carter McGregor on his back that time. Little hole there and positive yardage for a 4-yard pickup.
Boy, look at that blocking by the Warriors. What a great kick-out block by the right guard there and the tight end. Nice hole for that running back to pop through. The Warriors, no wonder they scored so many points last week against GTRA. Looking good.
Yeah, Nickerson's the guard on the right side for North Union. Although this time they'll have, or check that, Bruin the guard on the right side for North Union, beg your pardon. As North Union has Colgrove in the shotgun, Jones to the left. Snap to Colgrove. Here comes the rush. Colgrove hit as he throws down the middle, and Furch in the end zone picks it off. He picks it off. Cooper Hoy was open, but Colgrove hit as he throws. And for the 9th time this season, Tate Furch has intercepted the ball. He is now the state leader in all classes in interceptions with that pick. It's the 2nd turnover of the night by North Union.
And that was the easiest one of the season for him right there. Receiver was well away from the ball, didn't know where it was, and Furch goes over and looks like the pass was thrown to him. And Michael Joyce, he's pumped. He's the first one. He sprinted over there to congratulate Furch. Ran 30 yards just to tell his teammate, great pick.
Bishop Garrigan as a team, they've picked off 20 passes this year, which is number 2 in all classes and 1st in 8-man football. Golden Bears have the ball back. 3:48 to go until halftime, and you're thinking score here and then score out of halftime to really remove all doubt. Already leading 30-7.
Well, they had to punt in the last drive. They don't like doing that.
Schwab pulls, trying to lead the way for Marceau. Marceau to the edge, and Marceau can't get much there. North Union did a better job containing that time as Crouch makes the stop. Marceau got 3 yards on the carry.
Marceau's such a good young man. Pops right back up there. Good sportsman on the field, but he's got to be getting sick of everybody sticking their helmets in his shins. But word is around that if you want to bring him down, you got to hit him in those shins real low. He's got to have some bruises down there.
Marceau ran for 106 yards and 2 touchdowns last time these teams met on 15 carries. Likely already near that or eclipsing that tonight as he's hit in the backfield. Bounces off the tackle of Walter, though. Surges forward past the 20-yard line out to the 21. Chance for a negative play for North Union, but Marceau will turn it into another 3-yard pickup and set up 3rd down and 4.
Time ticking down here. 3 minutes left to go until half. Bears up 30-7, and it's a 3rd down situation. They could pass here, but what I want to see, a little C.J. McGregor come in the game. Let Marceau block. But Joyce is coming in. Looks like they're going to open it up.
We'll call it now a 3rd down and 3. They'll spot Marceau at the 22 after that run as the ball's on the left side hash. Joyce moves over to the wide side of the field. 1 tight end, 2 running backs with Furch underneath center. Fakes to Marceau. He rolls out to the right. Has some time looking down the field. Nothing open initially. He'll gun it over there to Weston Rosenmeyer, but off his hands and incomplete. Cale Jones once again. The pass coverage for North Union, and it's 4th down and 3 from the 22-yard line.
Bears going to get another chance to practice their punt cover on that last play. Carter McGregor was in the fullback position, Marceau in the tailback position, and Carter ran a little bit of a route out to the flat. Furch opted to go deep, but McGregor was there. Could have been a little pickup here as Halloween darkness has happened here on the field. As
one of these stadium lights just blacked out. The end zone down to our left has just gotten a lot darker as one of the stadium lights went out here.
This is what it looked like in the 1990s. It wasn't even this bright.
Snap to Joyce with the fog coming out of his mouth on this cold night. He'll punt near side of the field as that one's going to knuckleball out of bounds along the near side at the 38. Once again, Joyce had a little pressure in the backfield as he unloads that kick, and North Union has 2.5 minutes left here with possession and 2 timeouts.
Well, Ty, let's hope no other banks of lights go out. That's pretty odd. And, because this is the moment in the game where the Bears could have taken control of this game, but 2 punts in a row, 30-7, they got a pretty good hand on it, but not looking like the team they did in the first quarter.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time I saw Bishop Garrigan punt back-to-back times, and I'm not even sure if that's happened this season. But a chance here for North Union to at least get on the board as Cole Grove goes back to throw on 1st down, has some pressure, a crumbling pocket, and he will slide down. Carter McGregor was closest to him. He'll get credit for the sack, but Cole Grove felt the walls closing in that time.
Whoa, look at that. Carter McGregor on the spot. Madden Miller there as well. Madden Miller helping up Cole Grove and giving a little sportsman-like pat there. Good to see these young men know each other so well, being in the same county for the most part.
It was a 3-yard loss on the play with 2 minutes left in the first half, 2nd down and 13. It's Bishop Garrigan 30 and North Union 7. Last update, Don Bosco was playing Clarksville tonight. As we've been updating on the score in that one, Don Bosco had the early 21-18 lead as Cole Grove gives secure. It's a double reverse. Here comes Crouch to the right side. Garrigan contains it. Crouch held up in the backfield, and Rosenmeyer knocks it down. Carter McGregor had to contain that time, and Rosenmeyer made the stop.
Boy, the 2 defensive ends teaming up. McGregor, first one on the scene, and Rosenmeyer finishes it off. Garrigan has always prided themselves in defensive end play, going all the way back to the 11-player game. Such good defensive ends over the years.
And Don Bosco has actually scored again. They now lead it 28-18 over Clarksville as the winner in that game plays the winner of this game in the state quarterfinal round. Keeler will check out. Garrigan not fooled by that double reverse that North Union likes to run. And it is 3rd and a mile as Henderson will go out to the right. Jones and Crouch to the left for North Union. Hoy is slot right as well as Crouch motions closer to the line. Colgrove takes it on the run up the middle, pursued by Miller, turns it around the right side, gets past the initial line of scrimmage, but does not get the 1st down as Colgrove dives across the 40-yard line, and it'll be 4th down and about 9 for the Warriors.
No, that is one of their best plays tonight, is letting Colgrove get in that sprint draw type play and getting him out in the open. That's been successful both times. And the only thing they did wrong is Colgrove needed to stay in bounds there, keep that clock moving, because now the Bears are going to get a chance to get that ball back.
So a punt for North Union with 54 seconds remaining in the half. 4th down and 9. Crouch will take the football and end over end it towards Joyce, far side of the field. Takes a warrior hop again as Crouch can really spin it. That ball will die at the 4-yard line, and Bishop Garrigan has 46 seconds left and 1 timeout with which to operate.
Well, this is a great opportunity for the Bears to practice their 2-minute drill. You get ready for the future if they find themselves in a position with 46 seconds and they got to score. We'll see if they do that here. If they're pretty deep, they might just want to take a couple of easy plays and head to the locker room on this chilly night of Halloween.
So we'll see what Bishop Garrigan does. They do get the football to begin the second half as North Union won the Eyes on Farmington coin toss and took the opening kickoff. Although they 3 and outed on their first couple of drives before Colgrove hit Cooper Hoy on the only touchdown thus far for the Warriors.
They're running a couple guys late. Looks like they got the I formation running package. Hayden Miller in there at tight end. McGregor fullback.
Furch gives it off. It's Marceau breaking an angle tackle, getting across the 15, still pushing the legs, pumping the Pistons and getting to the 21. A solid pickup by Marceau, who's taken down by Colgrove, and now 40 seconds left in the first half.
Well, now that went so well, I think the coaches are thinking, hey, maybe we could try to score here, but the clock is running down to 35 seconds.
Yeah, not a lot of urgency here for Bishop Garrigan. Now they'll get up to the line here, but we're down to 29 seconds. Back to the I formation, maybe seeing if Marceau breaks one here. They'll give to Marceau again, runs left side, gallops past the line of scrimmage, tripped up by the ankles. The stop was made by Kyan Walter, and Marceau gained 6 yards, but we're down to 15 seconds left.
Well, that is the cliched cloud of dust play that they're running here. Just straight up blocking, no fancy traps or pulls, just full speed ahead. Marceau getting a full head of steam, and they're going to let that clock wind down.
So we will head to halftime. Bishop Garrigan on top here in this round of 16 matchup in Pod 1. 30-7 your score at the half as Bishop Garrigan leads North Union. We'll get to your Edward Jones halftime report. It's coming up after these messages on Home Country Radio, KLGZ.
That's it for the first half of play. Now get set for the Edward Jones halftime show featuring Algona Municipal Utilities. You make the call. And the Murphy Realty and Management first half recap. Your Edward Jones representatives are Bruce Keith, Jerry Sokup, Brady Ross, and Mackenzie Jorgensen.
Positive sportsmanship is an essential element of IHSA events.
Even as competitors, good sportsmanship puts us all on the same team.
We should all support the student athletes competing. Let the coaches coach.
Respect the officials working the event.
Be a positive representative of your school.
Thank you for supporting sportsmanship at Iowa High School activities.
What does it mean to be rich? Maybe it's less about reaching a magic number and more about discovering the magic in life. Hi, I'm Edward Jones financial advisor Jerry Sokup. Count on me for financial strategies that can help support a life you love, because the key to being rich is knowing what counts. Contact me at 515-295-7766 and let's find your rich. Along with Bruce Keith, Brady Ross, and Mackenzie Jorgensen, we are your local Edward Jones financial advisors. Member SIPC.
Thank you to these sports club members bringing you this game on Hometown Home Country Radio.
Fidelity Bank and Trust in Bancroft, banking on the community's future.
Burhow and Dornbeer Drainage and Excavation in Wesley, innovative drainage solutions that return for generations.
Jason Gardner, your Wiffle seed dealer. Plant your independence. Plant Wiffles.
Members bringing you this game on Hometown Home Country Radio.
Fidelity Bank and Trust in Bancroft, banking on the community's future.
Burhow and Dornbeer Drainage and Excavation in Wesley, innovative drainage solutions that return for generations.
Jason Gardner, your Wiffle seed dealer. Plant your independence. Plant Wiffles.
Thank you to these sports club members bringing you this game on the radio.
Jagger Associates, North Iowa roofing specialist.
Murphy's Realty and Management, serving Algona and the surrounding area.
Prism Wealth Advisors, your roadmap to financial freedom.
Jake Ingalls Electric, shockingly good service.
Thompson Sewer and Drain, your septic specialist.
Steyer Flooring, home of the Florinator.
River Road Golf Club, your friends go here.
Sponsoring this broadcast on Hometown and Home Country Radio.
Life changes, then it changes again. At Edward Jones, we believe that when it comes to your financial goals, you can't predict the unexpected, but you can prepare. Challenges such as job loss, change in health, or loss of a loved one can have a big impact on your family's financial security. Hi, I'm Mackenzie Jorgensen, an Edward Jones financial advisor. Let's work together to help make sure you're ready for life's ups and downs. Call us at 515-395-4021 to get started. Together with Brady Ross, Jerry Sokup, and Bruce Keith, we are local Edward Jones financial advisors. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Safe and affordable housing. Those are words we like to hear. And Murphy Realty and Management Incorporated provides just that. With properties in Algona and several surrounding counties, Murphy Realty and Management Incorporated provides safe and affordable apartments at a time when everyone could really use it. They pride themselves as a local entity that aims to help you find exactly what you're looking for. Give them a call at 515-295-2927 or stop in their office located at 208 East State Street in Algona. This institution is an equal housing opportunity provider.
Back here at halftime on Home Country Radio, KLGZ, 98.5 FM and AM 1600. I'm Tyler Lance alongside Beanie Bodie for your Edward Jones halftime show. Edward Jones, your local representatives here in Algona, presenting this halftime show with Bruce Keefe, Jerry Sokup, Brady Ross, and Mackenzie Jorgensen. Well, Beanie, in our first half recap, I'm actually going to start with the defensive side of the football. I think the big weapon coming into this game for North Union is Draven Keeler. You look at his last 3 games, their starting running back. He had 241 yards and 5 touchdowns, followed by 132 yards and 2 touchdowns. Then against GTRA, 272 yards and 4 touchdowns. So that's an incredible 3-game stretch. Tonight against Bishop Garrigan, he's been a non-factor. Once again, the Golden Bears have gotten the early lead. They've forced North Union into this bad game script where they have to throw the ball more, and ultimately North Union's run game has not been able to produce at the same level that it has the past 3 weeks.
Yeah, well, North Union tried to avoid that script that they didn't want to face. They started the game, they won the toss, they took the kick, they were hoping they could punch a score in and then put the pressure on the Bears right off the bat, but they didn't. They got a first down or 2, which is solid against the Bear defense, but had to turn the ball over on downs, and then after that, it was just dominance by the Bear offensive line.
Yeah, it was a couple 3-and-out drives to start the game for North Union, and that allowed Bishop Garrigan to build the early 15-0 lead. We saw the Golden Bears, they came out, they ran, they pounded the ball even more so. You know it's cold outside, the postseason's here. That means it's time to exercise your authority and get that run game going. The guys up front, Carter Schwab, Nate Lear, and Caden Graves, they were really winning the line of scrimmage in that first half, and then you've got a big physical running back like number 11. He's ripping off 10-plus yard gains, and Bishop Garrigan is really staying out of situations where they get behind the chains.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Ethan Marshall running the ball so well, and that blocking up front is just a key there. Anyone that running the ball behind some of those good blocks by Graves and Lear and Schwab, and the assortment of tight ends they rotate through, but it's been a lot of Madden Miller, Hayden Miller, and Weston Rosemeyer. Those are some great guys to run behind. And, yeah, Ethan Marshall's been looking solid. That really also allows the Bears to really control the clock on this game. I mean, yeah, they're up 30-7, but they've also just had the ball for such a large amount of the time of possession, because North Union did strike fast on one big play. And in this 8-player game, a lot of team strategy is to score fast. Last week, GTRA versus North Union, just a lot of big plays. You know, talking to someone, my dad went to that game, and he talked about how both teams would just quick strike offense. Well, the Bears, they can do the quick strike offense, but, boy, they also have the ability to just use up giant chunks of clock by grinding the ball downfield.
They certainly can, and that one drive North Union scored, you saw a 15-yard penalty by Bishop Garrigan, that late hit out of bounds that gave North Union the good field position, and they struck on the very next play for a long touchdown pass from Grayson Colgrove to Cooper Hoy. Besides that, though, not a whole lot to be said for the North Union offense today. They had a brief lull that they could have taken advantage of. Garrigan punting on back-to-back drives, which is not something that we've been saying at any point so far this season, but this Warrior offense, they've been under pressure. The good pass rush by Bishop Garrigan's getting home so far. They've also forced 2 turnovers by North Union. Ultimately, this offense for the Warriors, they've tried a ton of different things. We saw the double reverse. We've seen some jet motion, some counter runs, but just nothing seems to be working so far for the Warriors.
No, nothing's working, and I guess that's credit to the Bears. The Warriors have had a few nice plays where they got some good blocking, a couple good running plays. They got the big play, of course. Colgrove has done a nice job running the ball and open the field. But as the same song, different week, The Bears are just too much for their opponents this season thus far, and as we get further down this playoff road and the challenges get to be more and more great, the Bears just have to make sure they stay fine-tuned and ready for those big challenges. But you see these players, they start getting excited about stuff that you usually don't. At the beginning of the season, everyone's excited about a big run, a touchdown, a big pass completion. I think the most excited the Bears got in that whole first half was when they drew North Union offsides, when they had a 4th and 6, and they hustled up to the line without huddling, and they were all ready. They were all on script, well rehearsed. Furch gives the cadence, does a hut, and North Union jumps, and I think that was the most excited I saw the players get. They got pretty excited on that pick by Furch there at the end too. At least Michael Joyce did, but you know, the Bears are very businesslike tonight. Haven't seen the big outflow of emotion. I think they just want to get this one in the books. They've played North Union before. They're confident they can win again. They're off to a good start. I think they want to march this one into the history books and move on to that next round. But, you know, you got to take time to stop and smell the roses. This is pretty awesome celebratory season here. This whole season has been Bulls on Parade, a celebration of many years of a good program by Bishop Garrigan. It's all culminating in this awesome season. So I hope they take time to realize how much fun it is to be this dominant.
Yeah, Football Friday nights have been very fun so far here from Conway Field, and this game no exception. Bishop Garrigan on top right now, 30-7. We've got that score update as well from the other game going on in this pod. We've mentioned all night, number 8 Don Bosco taking on Clarksville, and Don Bosco has the big lead at halftime, 35-18 in that game. Again, winner of Don Bosco versus Clarksville plays the winner of Bishop Garrigan and North Union on Thursday night of this upcoming week. So again, folks, if you're watching this game saying, when's the next Football Friday? There is no next Football Friday, regardless of the outcome. It is Thursday after this point for the quarterfinal round for whichever team gets through this one. But again, Don Bosco up at the half, 35-18 in that ball game against Clarksville. So the other update we have as well, a score from Gladbrook-Rhinebeck and Easton Valley, another 8-player game. Gladbrook-Rhinebeck has the lead in that one, 21-6. Another game that we were looking at earlier on to see what the outcome would be. So a couple score updates there in the 8-player class here at Conway Field. Bishop Garrigan on top of North Union, 30-7. We'll take another timeout. We'll get to You Make the Call, brought to you by Algona Municipal Utilities, coming up here in just a couple minutes, right here on Home Country Radio, KLGZ.
Do you see yourself traveling, working part-time, or moving somewhere warmer when you retire? Hi, I'm Bruce Keith, your Edward Jones financial advisor, and I want to help make your retirement goals a reality. Let's talk about where you are, where you want to be, and how we get you there. Together, we can plan for the expected and make sure you're ready for the unexpected. Contact me, Bruce Keith, at 515-295-5173. Together with Jerry Sokup, Mackenzie Jorgensen, and Brady Ross, we are your local Edward Jones financial advisors. Edward Jones, members SIPC.
You shouldn't need an advanced degree to figure out how to pay for one. Hi, I'm Brady Ross, your Algona Edward Jones financial advisor, and I want to help you understand all the options you have when paying for an education. Whether you're the first in your family to attend college or planning for a grandchild to build on a legacy that goes back generations, let's work together to take care of your unique financial needs. Call me at 515-295-7763 to get started today. Together with Bruce Keith, Jerry Sokup, and Mackenzie Jorgensen, we are your local Edward Jones financial advisors. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
All right, we're going to do something a bit different tonight here for You Make the Call, brought to you by Algona Municipal Utilities. I've got my audio board here in front of me, but the cold is playing tricks on it here, so I've got a button or two that have frozen up on me. So we'll try to get that AMU thing played here later on tonight if we can. But with that frozen up here, Beanie, we talk a lot about the officials in high school football and, you know, the need for those guys. And we always hear from the officials as well when you get an obscure call in the game. And we actually talked about that a little bit earlier here tonight.
Yeah, if you let me here, I'm going to bring this up because I'd love to explain this over the air. And if I'm wrong, then I'll get a flood of phone calls telling me I'm wrong. But last week, we had a situation here where the opposing team, Kingsley Pearson, punted the ball. And Michael Joyce was down there, and I felt that he was too close to the ball, and Kingsley Pearson touched the ball. And then Michael Joyce went in to get the ball, and I thought that's the wrong thing to do because if he messes it up and then they can get the ball back. But there's a first touch rule, so when Kingsley Pearson touched the ball, the official throws a little marker on the field. And no matter what Michael Joyce does, he could take the ball and fumble it, and they could go for a touchdown, or Michael Joyce could run it back in the decline. But if something bad happens, Garrigan would have continued to get the ball where that Kingsley Pearson player initially touched it. And I was unaware of that rule, but that makes a lot of sense because that gives the return guy a lot of a lot of flexibility if the opposing team touches it. Now that is, of course, if they touch it without downing the ball, that it still is a returnable ball, and there's really no risks for the punt returner. Then he can take it and go. So that was an interesting thing I learned last week. But like you said during the broadcast, Tyler, there's something I learn every week from these officials, because just when you think you understand the game of football and all the rules, something happens in the game where everyone in the stands is scratching their head and thinking, oh, what do we do there? It could be sometimes insignificant as a late hit on a quarterback, yet the ball went downfield and they caught the ball for a touchdown. And then where does the penalty get assessed? So really credit to these officials for really knowing the game and all the ins and outs of the circumstances that might occur, because, boy, there are a lot. We almost had one tonight when Matt Besh caught that ball on the kickoff. Kickoffs where a lot of crazy stuff happens. The Bears were a victim of some crazy kickoff officiating in the Dome a couple years ago. When they won the state title, there was some wild kickoff shenanigans going on that the officials had to get involved in. It was very confusing. So credit to the officials. Yeah, and like we were on the PSA all the time, we need officials, Tyler.
We do need officials. That's our little homemade You Make the Call, brought to you by Algona Municipal Utilities, community-owned for community benefit. Boy, and you don't just mention that, but you think penalties, like what's an automatic first down, what's not, what spot of the ball, that sort of thing. What's half the distance to the goal. So there's a lot of small, minute details that have to be picked up on. And not to mention, Beanie, if I was down there being an official and even if I called a penalty, I would so easily lose track of, shoot, where were they on the field when they called the penalty? What number jersey was that? Who was that on? There's just so many things that you got to keep track of and keep at the top of your mind. And if you get it wrong, you've got the coaches barking in your ear asking for an explanation.
Oh, absolutely. I did the chain gang for a JV game, and I thought, boy, these officials got to see so much. I think everything's a hold. When I'm down on the field, it looks like all the linemen are holding all the time. But,
well, coaches, they've got their official scouting reports. They say it's a flag-heavy crew and Beanie Bodie's involved.
That's right. I would lose. I'm so disorganized, so I'd lose my yellow hankies. I'd be leaving them all over the field, calling inadvertent penalties, making them up as I go. I'd be like a clown. All my hankies would be tied together. They just keep coming out like a Kleenex dispenser.
Well, you could have been a clown for Halloween, but I guess we'll save that for next year, right?
That's right. Well, I'm a clown by nature. There's something on the field right now that looks like a flag. I think it's just a corn husk. I'm going to assume that is blown in from our local fields, I think. But the field's still looking good. But as it gets colder, Tyler, we've talked about when you get close to that dew point, sometimes the grass gets a little slick. But game time temperature was at 39. I believe the dew point is about 35 right now, 36. So if we happen to drop down below that, it's going to be some moisture out there, but right now it all looks good.
Well, we could get to that by the end of the night on this chilly evening from Bishop Garrigan High School. We'll take one more time out here in your Edward Jones halftime report. Score right now, Bishop Garrigan 30, North Union 7 on Home Country Radio, KLGZ.
We've got more sports boosters making this broadcast possible.
Worspin Chiropractic and Massage.
Greenfield Spreading and Sales for all your spreading needs.
West Bend Community Lumber, your local Marvin and Birch dealers.
Dean Meyer Electric, they'll help you look to a brighter future.
Wine and Spirits, locally owned at 111 South Phillip Street in Algona.
Algona Manor Care Center, your home away from home with quality care.
Rothler Electric, don't be left in the dark. Call 295-7117 today.
Sponsoring this broadcast on Hometown Home Country Radio. High school sports on Hometown and Home Country Radio. Brought to you by these fine sports boosters.
Miller Construction, proud supporter of area athletes.
Doctors Klepper and Trainers, Family Vision Clinic, Total Family Eye Care in Algona.
Premier Pizza, your locally owned pizza place in Algona.
Algona Municipal Utilities, community owned for community benefit.
Northwest Bank, commitment you can bank on.
Algona Dairy Queen, happy tastes good.
All bringing you this game on Hometown Home Country Radio.
Where you bank matters. Hi, I'm Sherry Bankin at Security State Bank, and we're relationship bankers. We get to know our customers and understand their financial needs. We're locally owned and operated, which means family, community, and service always comes first. So come to Security State Bank. We'll treat you like family. Security State Bank in Algona, Burt, and Laverne. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Security State Bank.
We've got more sports boosters making this broadcast possible on Hometown Home Country Radio.
Central Financial Group, where you belong.
Kemco Tires, your Goodyear tire dealer.
Murphy Farm Services, your local Generac and Cummins authorized sales and service center.
AK's Chrome Kitchen, come get you some yum.
Stroman Family Dental, giving you something to smile about.
Bill's Auto and Truck Repair, service is the difference.
High Point Land Company, your destination for land transactions.
All sponsors of this game broadcast.
Back here at Conway Fuel, I'm Tyler Lance alongside Beanie Bodies. The second half set to get underway. Bishop Garrigan on top of North Union right now, 30-7, as Christian Reyes will kick it away for North Union, left to right on the radio dial. And C.J. McGregor and Michael Joyce, they're back deep to return right now for the Golden Bears. So first half, all Bishop Garrigan. They scored the first 15 points tonight before North Union struck for their lone touchdown. Then final 15 points before halftime going to Bishop Garrigan as well. Reyes awaiting the ready to go from the officials as the ball's teed up at the 30-yard line. As he is into the football, end over on kick in the second half underway here from Bishop Garrigan. Ball skids at the 10-yard line and dies. Joyce picks it up at the 9, looking for space along the numbers near side, and he is forced out of bounds. Not much room for Michael Joyce as Noah Hersloff takes him into the boundary.
No, not a lot there. Good initial block by C.J. McGregor to get Joyce a few yards, but other than that, good coverage by North Union. Got down the field in a hurry. A slow start to the first half here for both teams as Furch brings the play out. Offense is ready to roll.
Yeah, Tate Furch. Now here's a guy who's always cool, calm, and composed. The playoffs look just like a regular season game for him as he is relaxed and ready to go for this Bishop Garrigan offense. Furch lifts the right leg. Marceau fakes left and then goes to the right off the carry. Marceau will stumble forward across the 25-yard line out to the 26 with a 5-yard pickup on first down.
Well, it's a standard warm-up play for the Bears. Run Marceau off guard, tight end gap, and see what he can get and get everyone loosened up. But going back to Furch and his calm composure, that's 3 years in the making. Like, this kid has been fantastic for 3 years here at Bishop Garrigan. Just an outstanding QB.
Tate Furch in the shotgun. As trouble in the exchange, ball pops straight up in the air. It's loose on the field. Players dive on top of it. There are white jerseys and black jerseys right there, and we'll wait for the officials to unpile here as Bishop Garrigan fortunate to recover that ball.
Boy, broadcasters jinx. Just what I'm talking about, Furch being so calm and collected. That snap came at him. He wasn't quite ready, and it was a firebolt by Caden Graves, the center. He rocketed that ball. He puts his hands up right now to the sideline to be like, yeah, I got it. But that snap was hot to handle, and Furch had to hot potato it, and I think Marceau jumped right on it.
Might have been Weston Rosenmeyer as well in there for the Golden Bears, but he and Marceau both quickly got back on top of the ball. That backs Bishop Garrigan up to a third down at about 8 as Joyce goes in motion. Furch fakes to him, throws back to the left to Rosenmeyer. He's got Schwab in front blocking, plenty of space. 30, 35, 40. Rosenmeyer down the sideline to the 35, and finally upended by Cale Jones as a late flag comes out on the play.
Oh, that's a fun call. The throwback, beautiful design by that play. We have not seen that play very often. That flag was late, definitely something after the tackle, but Rosenmeyer had a ton of green. Schwab was out blocking up front. He made the initial block, got free, and then his speed got him all the way downfield where I think he's getting tabbed for a penalty. Fortunately, the officials are mic'd, and they're going to tell everybody who to blame.
Well, it's been fun watching Schwab block out in space so far tonight as Garrigan's done a good job of getting him as a blocker out there to take out the North Union linebackers and create some space for the runners, but this play is already being marked off against Bishop Garrigan. Now, that flag was at the end of the play, so this will be a penalty that will potentially still get past the first down sticks.
Yeah,
it's still first down for Garrigan, but the ball gets back up to the 32. Illegal blindside block against Schwab. They initially pointed towards North Union, but they meant to point at Garrigan. So the blindside block gets called against Schwab, and it's still enough yardage for the first down, but instead of being in North Union territory, Garrigan's at their own 32.
I love it when the officials are mic'd up. I'm sure the guilty players don't like it very much, but hey, there's only a few hundred people here as opposed to on Saturday or something when there's thousands hearing your name get called out for the penalty.
Well, Bishop Garrigan, fresh set of downs anyways, as Furch will take it on the quarterback run. Furch straight to the middle. He's to the 40, lowers the shoulder to the 35, drives across the 30-yard line with an explosion up the middle. Colgrove makes the stop, but Furch gone like a bolt of lightning for the first down.
And at the very end of that play, Pack pushing him, a little tush push in the back. There's Carter Schwab, which begs the question, how many times have we seen Carter Schwab downfield tonight? It seems like every time we look up, yeah, he's making his initial block and he's got that speed. He gets downfield so fast.
Yeah, you need the athletic guards to be able to do what Bishop Garrigan does as they surge off the line. Marceau runs right side across the 25, out of a tackle 20. He's to the 15. He runs into a man inside the 10-yard line, initiating contact along the boundary, and another first down pickup for the Golden Bears as Marceau will go for about 20 on that run.
Boy, he delivers a big hit on the sideline, gets popped out of bounds. Just businesslike, turns around, looks for the nearest official to give the ball to, flips it to him, and gets back to the huddle. And this is what we're used to with the Bears. They're acting fast, chewing up big chunks of yardage each play.
All right, Marceau stepped out a little sooner than I thought he did. They'll mark him back at the 16. So not quite that far, but still enough for a first down as he stepped out of bounds at the 16. Furch gives to Marceau, number 11 running right side, has a little crease. He's across the 10, plunges forward to the 6-yard line, and knocked down right there. A 9-yard pickup on first down for Marceau, and Bishop Garrigan is going to number 11 time and time again.
Yeah, number 11, but listen to these other guys. You've got Carson Kramer in there. You've got Nate Lear, Carter Schwab, Caden Graves, of course, Rosemeyer, and Hayden Miller. That is a lot of beef on that line.
Yeah, jumbo offensive line for the Golden Bears. They block again. Marceau runs inside this time, gets a block from Kramer, and he is able to pinball his way down to the 3-yard line, picks up 4, and Bishop Garrigan moves the sticks for a first and goal.
Well, I've never read the offensive playbook for the Bears, but I hope they call this their power package because I don't know what else they would call it, but they are just moving bodies right now.
Yeah, they are bulldozing guys up front. Graves the center over the football. Garrigan goes unbalanced line again of Lear and Schwab over to the right now. Graves has the tight end Rosenmeyer to his left, and the tight end Hayden Miller, the other one, is over on the far right side of the line of 2 backs in the backfield. Furch turns and gives to Marceau. Marceau exercising as a 40, working towards the goal line and crossing the plane. That drive was all about the power run game as Bishop Garrigan marches down and plunges into the end zone for 6, 36-7 with 9:16 left in the third.
Now comes the swinging gate, a little trick formation for the PAT. Gage Meyer is split out right, but he's the kicker. But if they want to throw it to him out there, they can. But Gage Meyer, he has put together quite a kicking season here for the young sophomore kicker, Bishop Garrigan.
He really has. And, early in the year, you weren't 100% sure if there was going to be a lot of kicking for Garrigan. They went for 2 quite a bit early in the season, but they have come to rely on Meyer as Furch is going to throw it. Left to cleanse, off his hands and incomplete. Even if he catches that ball, he has Cayenne Walter bearing down on him, so likely would not have resulted in 2 as the conversion try fails, and it stays 36-7. Being, I think, the most diverse part of Garrigan's playbook, well, maybe this is an exaggeration, but a very diverse part of their playbook is the 2-point conversions. Because it seems like they go really deep. You saw early in the season, they loved that direct snap to C.J. McGregor, but now they've worked things into the swinging gate type of plays. We had a trick play last week where they threw it to the center Graves with the swinging gate. They've got a lot in their bag for those 2-point conversion tries.
They do, and can I be a negative Nancy here and say, like, sometimes it's a curse to have too many plays for that 2-point conversion because you get in these close games, you get down the road in the playoffs, and you need to score 2, and then you've got 48 plays going around in your head of which one they should do. But most of them have been successful here. They really are a big fan of that recent formation. But they also have Gage Meyer who can just put it through the uprights as well.
Well, those college football overtimes, if you go long enough, they start just going for 2. So if you take that to the NCAA level, that might play as Crouch will work his way across the 20, and he is tackled on the special teams play by McGregor and Sink for Bishop Garrigan. Crouch gets to the 24, and North Union has it down 36-7.
There's Sink, another sophomore, comes in on special teams, another good young player. I bring that up to just assure our listeners out there that we talk so much about this just being a banner year for Bishop Garrigan football, but Old Mother Hubbard, the cupboard is not bare as the years progress here. They got some players coming. Troyer's in there right now. There's a couple sophomores on the field all the time, it seems.
First down and 10 for North Union of Colgrove in the shotgun, joined by Keeler in the backfield. Crouch motions over towards the left. Colgrove takes the snap into his gut. He's back to throw. Pressure off the edge as he'll unload towards the sideline. Incomplete. Intended for Crouch. It was Rosenmeyer on the pressure that time as it's 2nd down and 10.
Tate Furch in coverage. Of course, I don't think the coaches would like to play their QB on defense, but Tate Furch, it's an argument of whether he's better at QB or better at defensive back. He's just so good at both positions. He's the one player that, he's going to be missed big time as the senior graduates, but very skilled gamer out there.
Yeah, you think about all-around players in the state, some of the best, and Bishop Garrigan has a handful of those guys who are in that conversation. Hand off to Keeler, working his way for the middle, driving the legs forward across the 30-yard line. Positive run by Keeler, tackled by Troyer and Rosenmeyer on the play, as Keeler got about 7 on that pickup. So Bishop Garrigan facing a 3rd and 3 from the North Union offense, 8:50 and ticking on the clock. Keeler, who has over 1,200 yards and 19 touchdowns this season, has been kept mostly quiet so far tonight. And again, North Union's gotten down on this game, so it's been a lot of pass attempts so far for Colgrove.
Bears are going with their big defensive line. They got 5 guys down on the line. They're coming after him.
They're saying, you're not running up the middle again on this one. Colgrove gives to Keeler. He's going to try for the middle. He got through. Keeler squeezes past the line to gain. He's out to the 35-yard line. He emerged from a pack of black jerseys, and he picked up 4 yards to move the chains.
Wow, you have to be down on the field with a bird's eye view to see how Keeler got through there, because he ran into a wall of those 5 defensive linemen. Miller, Schwab, Kramer, McGregor. They all were there, and somehow he got past them all for the first down. Nice run by that young man.
So Warriors have a fresh set of downs with 8:10 left in the third quarter. 36-7 Bishop Garrigan. Jones and Crouch go out to the right. Hoy and Henderson to the left with Colgrove with the shotgun. They're spreading things out. Marceau staying in the middle of that Garrigan defense. Coming in motion is Crouch. They'll fake to him. Colgrove steps up. He's across the 40-yard line. 35-30. Sprinting down the sideline to the 25 and forced out by Joyce. The ends got a little too far up the field that time for Garrigan, and Colgrove able to escape for a big first down gain.
Nice run by Colgrove. He saw a seam, and he's showing some impressive speed there. He got through that line in a hurry. Was off to the races, outrunning the likes of the linebackers for Garrigan. Joyce and Troyer and Furch all giving chase.
Colgrove, of course, was frustrating the starting quarterback last year with an injury to Cade Madden early in the season. So in his second year as the North Union starter for the 6'2" junior. Alone in the backfield again, he's back to throw, flings it left side and completes it to Jones. Jones working towards the sticks, has the first down as Miller jumps on his back, but Jones is inside the 15 into the Red Power red zone on an 11-yard pickup.
This is a nice drive the Warriors are putting together. Their combination of running up the middle with Colgrove and then spreading the ball out with his arm. This is the drive that they wanted to start the game with.
Man, it may be too late to say this, but these empty formations for North Union have been the one thing tonight that have given Bishop Garrigan some issues. Normally North Union, they're in the box, it's power running, Draven Keeler, 195-pound bowling ball, but tonight, spreading it out has been the best offense as Keeler takes a big hit by Titan Troyer and then popped up top by Marceau. That's a lot of beef there as Troyer and Marceau will hold him to a 1-yard pickup.
Boy, what I like about that play is the form tackle by Titan Troyer. He did it perfect, got his head to the outside, got low, drove his hips all the way through the tackle. That's coaching there. Nice job by that young sophomore. Big tackle. Troyer showing some power in that little frame of his.
Ball's on the right side hash for North Union as Jones goes out to the left. Crouch and Hoy on the right side. And now it is Crouch motioning over to the left. The center Merrill, the snap at the Colgrove with 6 on the play clock. The fake to Keeler. Colgrove looks left to Jones. Now he fires end zone looking for Crouch, and it's incomplete. He had Jones open there on the left side, but decided to shoot one for the end zone instead. Furch had the coverage, and now it's 3rd down and 9.
Furch so familiar with the spacing of the field, 3-year starter on offense and defense, just kind of knew that that ball was too long. He's just kind of a pedestrian out there doing his job as Matt Besch comes in for Carter Schwab. Give that guy a break. Besch is fresh. Look for that guy getting in the backfield here from the nose guard position.
6:41 remaining in the third quarter. 3rd down and 9 for North Union. They need the 4-yard line in order to move the sticks. Keeler joining Colgrove in the backfield. The senior running back with the junior quarterback. Colgrove fakes to Keeler. He stays in to protect. The block by Keeler. The throw by Colgrove into the end zone looking for Hoy, and it's incomplete. He was out beyond the boundary of the end zone, and it's 4th down and 9.
Boy, another good pass by Colgrove. Just a little bit off on the reception. Madden Miller drops back in coverage. There's that versatility by Miller again. Can play linebacker, can play defensive end, and then drop back in coverage and have the speed to keep up with the receiver.
I've enjoyed watching the pass pickups tonight, the pass protection by the running back Keeler. He's getting Marceau on those blitzes, and those two are just popping pads there in the middle. Oh. That's been fun to watch as well.
I'm glad you told me that. I got to start watching that because we've seen him running the ball hard. He's had a couple good runs. I bet, yeah, that's some good blocking now. Colgrove all alone in the backfield. Here the Bear fans are showing some life on 4th down.
And North Union ran out of time. They were late getting out of the huddle, and they will call a timeout with just over 6 minutes left in the third quarter. But yeah, those blitz pickups by Keeler. Again, I said Keeler, he's 195 pounds, 5'11", really good strong lower body, and then you've got Marceau at 230 coming in on those blitzes, and those have been some notable collisions.
Yeah, for sure. Well, yeah, it's a lot of stocking caps and coats here. Hard to believe that weeks ago we were hot and sweating it out up here in the press box, but we shouldn't be surprised. This is how it goes every year. In fact, the cold is a little late this year. And all the cheering is muffled a little bit down there. But we got a good crowd here at Bishop Garrigan. Thanks for everyone watching us or listening to us here. But all if all goes well, we'll be here one more time, Tyler. Is that right, on Thursday for some must-see TV?
That is right. So if Garrigan hangs on to win this one tonight, they'd be at home on this upcoming Thursday again. Thursday, not Friday, folks. I'll emphasize that a couple times here tonight, just because the state semifinals are played on a Wednesday, so you move the quarterfinals up to a Thursday to make sure you're not having too few days in between games for those semifinalist teams. Of course, Garrigan's been to the Dome the past 2 seasons, trying to get there a third year in a row.
Got 14 cheerleaders down there wondering why we're not at a running clock yet, because they're looking pretty chilly.
It is 4th down and 9, 6:35 left. Colgrove looking to throw. He steps up, has some pressure from Rosenmeyer, got it by the ankles. He unloads it, it's incomplete. He was hit by Rosenmeyer and McGregor. Still got the ball away, but no receiver in the area. And North Union coughs it up on downs inside the red zone.
Rosenmeyer got up and is flexing, and you know what? I'm going to say that's okay, Weston, because you did a fantastic job on that play. I never liked the flexing, but I watched him the whole time. He got off the ball hard. He kind of got held a little bit on his pads. He didn't give up. He stayed with the play. He fought laterally across the line and gets rewarded with the big tackle there. That was a great play by the defensive end, Weston Rosenmeyer.
Well, this is about as deep into the game as Bishop Garrigan starters have played so far this season, as we're about midway through the third quarter right now. Joyce is slot right, Cleanse wide right for Bishop Garrigan, a Furch in the shotgun, Graves to snap the football. Furch takes it on the run, has Marceau leading the way. Furch around the end across the 20, and he will slide his way forward near the first down sticks. The spot will be a yard shy on the 9-yard pickup by Tate Furch.
Clock is ticking, approaching the 6-minute mark in the third quarter. Bears look like they're getting ready for another grinded-out drive, although just as I say that, C.J. McGregor comes in for Marceau. A little lightning to the thunder.
Colgrove had the last tackle for North Union. C.J. McGregor, what a game last week, as he'll be spread out to the left. Garrigan, in fact, goes trips to the left. McGregor, Joyce, and Cleanse. Furch in the shotgun by himself again on the 2nd and 1. Ball's at the 22-yard line. The guard pulls. Nate Lear just uncleated a man as Furch runs forward and gets the first down. What a collision that time by the pulling guard. It'll go as a 4-yard pickup.
And then Lear hit him so hard, he ended up on the ground himself. But when they went trips left, I had a feeling Furch was going to run that ball, pick up that first down. That's when you see on film there, whoever plays Garrigan next week is not going to be fooled by that trips left.
This time, Cleanse will go to the right side. If Joyce to the left, C.J. McGregor joining Tate Furch in the backfield on a 1st down and 10. Line of scrimmage is the 26-yard line. Furch gives to McGregor. Past the line of scrimmage, chugging the legs out to the 30-yard line. He'll get to the 31, and once again, these 5-6-yard pickups on 1st down are setting up Bishop Garrigan in really good spots. It'll be 2nd down and a long 5 to go.
You know, the coaches are going to be really happy about that run by C.J. McGregor. He didn't break out in the wide open. He didn't score a touchdown, but he got 5 yards because he made one cut, maybe, and then just ran straight ahead and got the 5 yards he could. That's what they want him to do, not be juking and moving all the time.
Yeah, you don't always have to dance a ton. Just get the positive yards as McGregor spins for the middle. That time, not a lot doing. Max Merrill on Cayenne Walter stopping him after what is maybe a 2-yard pickup, and it'll be 3rd and a long 3 for Bishop Garrigan.
Another big collision there between Nate Lear and Max Merrill, I believe. It's always easy to see Max Merrill because he wears the safety helmet, which I applaud. You got to protect that noggin, and you can wear the extra padding on your helmets there. So Max Merrill, you can see, it's got a big extra black padding on the helmet.
Well, remember last year in Bishop Garrigan's first-round playoff game, their postseason opponent, Tripola, the whole team wore those Guardian caps, right. The orange ones.
Yeah.
Kind of like your Pumpkins beanie. There's almost a jump by North Union. Hand off to Marceau, runs left side, breaks one tackle. He powers forward. He's finally knocked down by Hoy jumping on his back with Jones holding on down low, and a flag comes in. A flag near side of the field as Marceau got the 1st down yardage, but we will check on the penalty.
Well, that was just like some blocking happening after the ball. Caden Graves is pumped up because he I think is considering he drew the penalty because there was a guy blocking him well after the play was over, and that's what the flag was from. But what a run by Marceau there. Not that we're not used to that running by Marceau, but well done by that as the Bears continue to chew clock. We're down to 4 minutes now left in the third quarter. Just eating up clock as the refs are going to march off some yards for the Bears.
Yeah, some emphatic demonstrations by the Garrigan sideline looking for that penalty as the extra yardage will be marched off inside the 30-yard line.
Well, Tyler.
Personal foul is going to be called against North Union as they will get Waller on that one. And that was the guy I think you saw being engaged with Graves on that play after the whistle blew.
Now, this is why there's a little bit of a rivalry budding here. You know, a few personal fouls in the game between a couple rivals is not unheard of. And we need a rival here at Conway Field.
Official almost forgot to turn his mic off there as we get back to a power I formation for Bishop Garrigan. The run to McGregor. McGregor, some space for the middle.
Gone.
Bends it off to the left. He's to the 15. He's to the 10. And he tiptoes the sideline. They're going to mark him out of bounds. Cale Jones forced him to step on the boundary. CJ McGregor gets down inside the 3-yard line on a great run. They'll mark him out at the 2.
That was a beautiful tiptoe down the sidelines by McGregor. I thought they were going to reward him with the touchdown. He leaned, and he looked like he put the ball over the plane. But they say no. Let's make him earn 6 more inches.
CJ McGregor has his brother Carter leading the way, and he will guide him into the end zone as he will barely be touched. CJ McGregor caps off the drive, and this time he does score the touchdown. Bishop Garrigan on top, 42-7 with 3:58 left in the third.
Boy, glad to have those McGregor boys in the backfield doing their work there. They don't even need Marceau to march that one in. And those McGregors, as soon as football's over, they're going to hit the wrestling room. But I believe this year they could eat, they told me. So that's good to hear.
Well, they're going to have to stay fed here at least until through the next round of the postseason should Garrigan continue to lead in this dominating margin. As Furch runs, he flips into the end zone, and it's caught by Caden Graves.
Is he eligible?
He was eligible on the play, just like last week, Beanie. They got him again for another 2-point conversion.
Wow, Furch keeping the play alive with his feet. He was looking to go to Gage Meyer out there in their weird kick swinging gate formation. Furch keeps it alive, and Caden Graves gets to the back of the end zone. Nice job. There was talk that Caden Graves might play some tight end. That talk is mostly by me. Before the season started, showing why. He's got the hands, the center, catching the ball on the 2-point conversion.
And they love it. Look at the greeting for number 60 on the sidelines. Everyone happy to see Caden Graves with the ball in his hands.
Well, we got so excited last time he did that. We thought, well, there's one for the memory books. And now he did it again. So which one's better? I think he'll take them both.
Yeah, no, that's the sad thing. We're going to get less excited each time we see it, but at the same time, you love to have that in your arsenal for Bishop Garrigan.
Well, this is the kind of game you're up 44-7. It's the playoffs. These senior season's winding down. This is the game to put the fridge in the backfield.
I'd have to think so, too, as there's a squib kick by Gage Meyer. It'll roll to the near side of the field to Cale Jones. Fields to the 23-yard line, jitterbugs, and gets out to the 28-yard line. Titan Troyer and Carter Sink on the stop as North Union has it with 3:50 left in the third quarter, and now a running clock put into place.
The question is, Tyler, who's the fridge on this Bishop Garrigan Bear team?
Carson Kramer, 100%.
Oh,
Not even a question.
Not even a question. Okay, he's down there. We see big 75 right there. He would love to do that. Give me the ball. I'll be the William Perry. Yeah, that'd be fun to see. All right, starting defense still in. Joyce and Troyer hustle into position.
Colgrove will give off to Keeler on the snap. Got past the initial line of scrimmage. Keeler rumbles forward out to the 35-yard line. He's starting to get a little traction here, but at this point, Garrigan up 44-7 with 3:15 left in the third quarter.
Yeah, this starting defense will remain in this game until the fourth quarter, I presume, because we see the big difference whenever you put in the backups. Usually an automatic score pretty quick.
Michael Joyce covering Jones out on the right side as Crouch motions over to the right. The snap by Merrill. Colgrove back to throw, has some pressure in his face with Rosemeyer rushing, and Colgrove will just throw that into the sideline as he gets outside of the pocket, setting up a 3rd down and 4.
I should say, no slight to the Bishop Garrigan backups. They've done well all year, but typically when the opponent's starting offense wants to score and they're still in there, sometimes they can pop a score and they're really quick. So we saw Crouch in motion there. Tyler, does it surprise you that they've had a hard time getting Crouch the ball on offense tonight?
That has been a little surprising. He only carried the ball twice last time they played Garrigan as well, but maybe it's just because of the reverses. They take a while to develop. There's a run by Keeler barreling through the middle, but he only got 2 yards, and it's 4th and long 2. I just think, you put Crouch in jet motion. It's just a long developing play against this physical Garrigan defensive line.
Yeah, he's so electric on his kick returns. I just keep thinking we're going to see him. We see him in motion a lot. We saw him on that double reverse and whatnot. But you see him, you see a weapon out there that is maybe it's because the Garrigan defense is keying on him, but Colgrove not able to find him probably as often as they'd like to.
Yeah, but going forward for North Union, and we're talking about going into next year, Carson Crouch is going to be man to watch in this team because he is just a sophomore. Timeout taken by North Union, 1:43 in the clock. We'll take it as well prior to this 4th down attempt. A timeout here at Conway Field with Bishop Garrigan on top 44-7 on Home Country Radio, KLGZ.
More Sports Boosters bringing you this broadcast on Hometown Home Country Radio.
Sportsman's Corner, your power sports headquarters. Can-Am and Honda side-by-sides, ATVs, and motorcycles.
Farmers Cooperative of Odison and Algona, offering Kent show feeds for all your livestock projects.
Capacious Brothers Incorporated, Pioneer Seed.
Flipside in Laverne, open 7 days a week, dine in or carry out.
Advanced Drainage Systems, our reason is water.
Snap-on Tools, the most valued tool storage solutions in the world.
All bringing you this game.
Back here at Conway Field, it's Bishop Garrigan 44, North Union 7. Over in the other game in this pod, Don Bosco has extended their lead over Clarksville here as they have a 20-point lead now over the Indians. So right now we've got Garrigan on top, 44-7. Winner in this game moves on to Thursday night of next week. North Union facing a 4th down and 2, moving left to right on the radio dial. They'll spread things out. 2 receivers each side of the formation as Colgrove's in the shotgun. Now he'll motion Hoy tight to the line on the right side. Colgrove back to throw, gets a 3-man rush. Here comes Kramer. Colgrove dodging around, and he is knocked down. Kramer funneled him right into the waiting arms of Ethan Marceau. Kramer doesn't get the sack that time, but he made the play with that pressure.
Yeah, nice job, Moose. Boy, that was a run all the way because Crouch and the receiver out there in the top, they faked like they were going out for a pass, then immediately started blocking. But because of that line play by Carson Kramer, etc., Colgrove was never able to get out there where his blockers were set up.
So Bishop Garrigan will start on the plus side of the field. 1:12 left in the third quarter of a 44-7 lead. As the starters here, at least one more drive right now. It'll be power, or check that, not the I formation here, but it'll be C.J. McGregor rather in the backfield. They'll fake to McGregor, back throws Furch, 2 men in the pattern, fires left to Hayden Miller and makes the catch to the 25. And he fires off the off arm to the 20-yard line and gets down to the 16. Miller scrapping his way for extra yards, and he has the first down pickup for Bishop Garrigan.
Boy, Hayden Miller with a beautiful reception there. Great hands by that big fella. He is strong and powerful. He tries to do a swim move to get around a guy pretty successfully. But he's pumped up after that play. He's always behind his older brother, Madden Miller, but that Hayden Miller, the sophomore, he can play some tight end as well.
Hayden Miller over on the right side again has Carter McGregor right behind him on the wing, and C.J. McGregor in the backfield. 20 seconds left in the quarter. They'll pull Schwab again. Running as C.J. McGregor gets a block from Hayden Miller, bends it back to the inside, tiptoes out of the tackle, and he is pushed forward down to the 10-yard line as Jeffrey Walker makes the stop for North Union. That'll go as a 6-yard gain for C.J. McGregor.
Yeah, good gain by McGregor, doing a lot of extra running there. The linemen, I think, are saying, hey, CJ, at this point in the game here, how long do you want us to block for you? We got to quit running around all over the place.
Third quarter comes to an end. Bishop Garrigan in command, up 44-7 over North Union here on Home Country Radio and the Algona Radio YouTube stream.
Thank you to these sports boosters bringing you this game on Hometown and Home Country Radio.
Emerald, serving your favorite steaks and seafood, a great salad bar, and more.
Algona Hearing Center, better living through better hearing.
Bodie's Moonlight Garden, for all your fall pumpkins, gourds, and squash.
Vanward Trucking of Odison, livestock and flatbed hauling.
Suiday Health and Production.
Carroll Implement of Laverne, serving area farming communities for over 50 years.
All sponsors of this game broadcast.
The best place to buy a new appliance is also the best place to find a used appliance. And locally, that's North Iowa Appliance Center. You'll find a good selection of used washers and dryers, ranges, and refrigerators. Every used appliance is inspected by their experienced service technicians. And when needed, repairs are made and parts are replaced. They sell the best appliances in the industry, carrying Maytag, KitchenAid, Whirlpool, and Amana, so they get the best trade-ins too. North Iowa Appliance Center, Highway 18 East in Algona, where they sell the best and service the rest.
Start of the fourth quarter. Bishop Garrigan inside the Red Power red zone, leading right now 44-7 over North Union. Tate Furch under center, gives off to C.J. McGregor, bounces to the outside, now cuts back in. McGregor powering the legs forward, driving towards the goal line. He's in for a touchdown. A little physicality there from C.J. McGregor at the end of that run, working his way into the end zone, and Garrigan's on the board to start the fourth quarter, up now 50-7.
Boy, C.J., he's a tough little running back, that guy. He's got the quickness, he's got the moves, and he's also got that agility. You know, I'm a big fan of wrestling, and he's going to be putting on the singlet here. He is a tough guy to take down in all sports, football, wrestling. Whew.
Second touchdown of the night by C.J. McGregor, as Gage Meyer will kick the PAT with 11:53 remaining in the fourth quarter. As the ball's down, Myers into it. That is a wobbling kickoff to the left, and that one is no good.
So close. Just inside, or just outside the left upright here at Bishop Garrigan. 50-7 is the score here in the fourth quarter, running clock in effect.
We've got another score update as well. Don Bosco on top of Clarksville, 49-24 late in the third. So the Dons are in control of that game and in a good position to get to the quarterfinal round as well. But boy, Beanie, you look at this pod, you look at the playoff scheduling. Of course, first round of the playoffs, you don't know the opponent until the state releases it on Saturday morning. Second round, I should say, you don't know either. But Bishop Garrigan's always, they're just waiting there like Michael Myers in the background, waiting to attack and take another victim. That's kind of been the story all season long here for this Golden Bear team. But you do know if they play on this upcoming Thursday night, it'll be at home. And like we said, Don Bosco's got a pretty commanding lead right now over Clarksville.
Yeah, well, Michael Myers, he's the one that never runs, right? Just slowly comes at you over and over. Never in a big hurry. Yeah, that's an apt reference here. This 8-player game, there's a lot of Freddy Krueger slashing to put points on the board, and if you've been followed 8-player football, Don Bosco, they're royalty.
Yeah, they certainly are, as Myers squibs it down the middle, and Hoy will just dive on top of it at the 31-yard line. Yeah, there's a few names you always seem to hear in 8-man. Recent years, that was Remsen St. Mary's. Of course, this year, they had the down year for all the graduations. Garrigan now, that they've joined 8-man, trying to put themselves in that category. But Don Bosco, they're always a team they're in the quarterfinals, they're contending for the Dome. So that could be a potential opponent for the next round, barring a big rally in that game by Clarksville.
Yeah, for a few years there, Don Bosco was regularly on TV while we were watching the state semifinals and finals from the 11-player position. Garrigan would like to be that team that is in the Dome every year in the 8-player.
Well, off to a good start in doing that so far in this postseason as Colgrove takes it on the run on first down, skips out of one tackle as he evaded Marshall in the backfield. Schwab makes the stop as Colgrove gets to the 34-yard line, a 3-yard pickup.
Well, Madden Miller just decleated to someone in the downfield who was trying to block him, helps him up off the turf. I'd like to see that one again, but I assume that's what happened. But I saw a couple guys on the deck as at this point of the game with the clock ticking 10 minutes left. At this point, you just want to limit the beating you're taking.
Matt Besh anchors the middle of the defensive line for Bishop Garrigan. Here's a run by Keeler to the outside. Carter McGregor's on his back and rips him down back at the 30-yard line. That is going to lose the 3 yards North Union gained on the last play as Carter McGregor makes another stop for a third down, and we'll call it 9.5.
Dalton Clens getting some reps here defensively. We saw Dalton a lot here in a few games when covering for Troyer and others. But Dalton showing some real talent defensively. He's playing that right cornerback position, getting those reps in. Joyce still at left cornerback.
So third down and 9 for North Union. Ball's at their own 32-yard line as Keeler will come off for this play. Henderson out to the right. Jones is out to the left for North Union. He's wide left. They've got a man in the slot as well. Colgrove back to throw, gets a 3-man rush. Here comes Besh. He's got him in the backfield, then he drops him for a sack. Another Hy-Vee sack as Matt Besh gets loose from the middle, and it's fourth down.
That came out of nowhere. Colgrove didn't see him coming. I didn't either. Looked like he had plenty of time, and all of a sudden Besh, with some closing speed there, lights him up.
So it's been a frustrating night for Colgrove, who has taken a beating from the Garrigan pass rush, and Michael Joyce will go back to return this punt by Crouch. With 9:35 left in the fourth quarter and a 50-7 Bishop Garrigan lead. 2 turnovers tonight by the Warriors. A multitude of sacks by Bishop Garrigan as a man runs on late for North Union with 8 on the play clock. Still time for Crouch to get off this punt. As the snap is low, Crouch will take it and he'll boom it down the field. A good punt. Joyce scrambling back to the 15-yard line. He'll let it bounce as it'll head into the boundary at the 13-yard line, which is where Bishop Garrigan will start this drive.
You know, I see a couple juniors out there, and Carson Seidels and Dalton Clens are in the middle of that punt cover, that punt return. There's a couple juniors here that are going to step up and fill roles next year. You know, every season you say goodbye to a lot of seniors. Not all of them get big-time playing time. Lucas Bahanik is one of those guys. He's got a whole career here at Bishop Garrigan football. And we're going to see him get in here, I'm sure, at the end of this game. But a lot of juniors, not that big of a junior class, but some good ones going to come in next year. And we've seen a lot of sophomores like C.J. McGregor and Titan Troyer out there tonight as well.
Yeah, so that old cliche, you don't rebuild, you reload, and that has been the case in recent seasons for the Bishop Garrigan football program. Tate Furch will be the quarterback still for this Bishop Garrigan offense. He'll give to C.J. McGregor. McGregor looking for space, hit in the backfield. He spins, but nowhere to go. Merrill got him around the ankles, and then the cavalry arrived to drop McGregor for a 1-yard loss.
Yeah, as great as this offensive line has been all night, it was the defensive line of North Union that had the last laugh there. They knocked the Bears back a step on that snap, and CJ was met in the backfield.
So 2nd down and 10 for Bishop Garrigan. We'll say he got back to the line of scrimmage as we're down to 7:59 left of the 4th quarter. Well, Beanie, this is not the only thing going on this weekend for Bishop Garrigan. We've got state cross country tomorrow. Julia Swift back for a 2nd year in a row. She was 1 spot out of a state medal last year. Really good freshman performance. This year, her sophomore season, as she'll be running in Fort Dodge tomorrow as McGregor runs left side. McGregor is able to get forward out to the 20-yard line. I'll be tunneling my way into the Dirty Dodge tomorrow for that 1A race. Got a lot of area athletes, of course, for our North Union fans. Alexis Cummins racing tomorrow, her 2nd career state appearance. The West Bend people in the area, Tyra Shootbox back there at state. So I'll have a busy girls 1A race tomorrow of coverage down to Fort Dodge.
You will. I appreciated that coverage today of Gavin Weber down there. That's great to hear. Listen to those cross-country races. I love your live coverage. Fastest man in radio, Tyler Lance, will be running alongside Julia Swift and company tomorrow, perhaps. But good luck to Julia. The next in a great line of Swift runners coming out of that Swift family.
And Beanie, you know how much I love when your name lines up with what you do. Swift's being good at cross country is just too perfect. Here's a pitch to the wide side of the field. CJ McGregor looking for space. He bounces outside. Not a ton of room, but he's able to turn it up for a couple of yards. And he got the 1st down. He needed 4. They'll give him 5, and Bishop Garrigan's out to the 25.
Well, we got this football game going on, which is well past 7:30, which means it's too late for you to go trick-or-treating, Tyler. I know you had the costume ready to roll. You're going to hopefully pick up some full-size candy bars right down the street here at the Penninghausen. And I guess we missed out on trick-or-treating once again because of Bishop Garrigan football.
Unbelievable. My Brett Musburger costume will not be seen by most people outside of Conway Field. As Furch drops the snap, he'll dive back on top of it.
Furch.
And actually, that's Graves, I beg your pardon. Graves is the 2nd-team offense. Not a clean exchange on the snap, and Garrigan will lose 2 yards.
Well, Graves was on the sideline all night, and all of a sudden they say, Graves in the game, and said, but my hands are frozen. And it showed him that snap right there as ball bricks right off. As the cavalry is called off, Caden Graves is staying in. Graves is going to be the QB. A mix of starters and reserves because CJ's in there running back.
They've gradually subbed guys out here with Sean Till just the fullback spot. Caden Graves still the center of Matt Besh, the left guard, and the left tight end is Leo Snyder. A little trouble again on the handoff, and McGregor will just dive back to the line of scrimmage. Well, or check that, Till just will dive back to the line of scrimmage, and it'll be 3rd and 12.
Well, that's what's happened. See, Caden Graves was still the center, and Graves came out and said, hey, I don't usually have my hands under Caden Graves. I'm not used to the fireball snap that Graves gives. But now they bring in Noah Schaefer, the under center, the understudy for Caden Graves. Schaefer and Graves teaming up here.
You mean to tell me that Caden Graves and Jared Graves weren't doing that snap exchange in the backyard time after time and getting those reps down?
Are you kidding me?
I find that hard to believe.
Yeah, Caden's the older brother. When you're playing in the backyard, you get to be the quarterback if you're the older brother. You don't have to be the center just because it's your position at Conway Field.
That's true. Maybe Jared had to be the centers. He will hand it off to C.J. McGregor, or check that to Carter Sink, dancing around in the backfield, and he is blown up on the play. Cole Nickerson swallows him up, and that Garrigan drive stalls out after the initial 1st down. It is 4th down and about 13 to go.
Well, you're playing the backyard. There's really only a couple plays that you have time for because most of the afternoon is spent with people running around screaming out that they're open, and then the quarterback waiting and waiting and waiting. Here comes Graves. He's got his hands in the pouch trying to keep him warm.
He's the backup punter as well to Michael Joyce, who actually had to punt twice tonight.
Good to see them camaraderie down on the sidelines. A lot of the starters are out. I see them shaking hands, patting each other on the shoulder pads. A lot of good jobs back and forth as that common goal is still within reach.
So it is 4th down right now. It is going to be a direct snap to Graves, and there's a flag at the time of the snap that'll blow the play dead.
And that will stop the clock. It stops for penalties, touchdowns, and timeouts, of course.
Delay of game on Bishop Garrigan as they did not get the snap off in time. So they will back up here inside their own 20-yard line of 4:18 left in this one.
This is the play where you talk about you make the call. This is the type of play. Something's going to happen on this play, something interesting. 4th and forever.
Graves will take the snap. He will unload it quickly as that ball will fly to the 37-yard line and take a Bishop Garrigan roll down to the North Union 30-yard line. It'll stop right there, and no one's going to touch it initially until it officially dies. Down by Sean Tilges for Bishop Garrigan.
Well, that was uneventful. I knew he was going to do the pooch kick. I thought it was someone would do something wrong or someone would touch the ball, but just another uneventful kick. Sean Tilges downs it. Sean Tilges, I don't know if these are any hot takes, but the Bishop Garrigan swim team is gaining some members. I think people are already starting to look forward to the winter sports, and going to have a few more guys on the swim team this year. I believe Sean is one of them.
Yeah, year one last year for the Bishop Garrigan boys swim team. So year one to year two, more people hear about the program and more people get ready to go out in the winter. And it's something good to do in the winter, Beanie. You need something going on, whether that's basketball or wrestling or swimming. It's hard to get for those winter months if you've got nothing going on.
You could just be a masochist like you, Tyler Lance, and run outside in the 20 below weather all winter.
You could do that. I would not recommend that for most people, but it's not a bad idea for me. I'll say that.
It is a bad idea for you, but
yeah, fair enough.
you just go for it.
Drake Nelson in the shotgun, hands off to Carson Crouch, bounces it to the outside. Crouch sprinting along the sideline, and he had a burst of speed there. Good pickup as he's forced up by Sink. We'll call that 6-yard gain on the play.
Well, you said it, Tyler. Think about the future of this North Union Warrior team, and you have it right there. And Crouch, he just hit that outside hard, turned the corner. That guy's got some speed. And if he's just a sophomore, you can expect to see a lot of that young man carrying the ball in the future as this rivalry develops. You can see I'm really trying to push this rivalry here.
I can see it, though. Crouch stepped out a little earlier than expected as it'll just be a 4-yard gain. Kale Vasky, the tight end on the left side. North Union pulls the guards as the quarterback Nelson runs. Nelson through the middle. He rumbles across the first down sticks and has the pickup of 6 yards. But that's the thing, Beanie. We always talk about first-year adjustment in 8-man. It's going to end in the second round, but you make that adjustment 11-man to 8-man. You upset GTRA in the first round. You end here at Bishop Garrigan against the number 1 team, but that's a good season for North Union. Yeah. That's a great start in 8-man football, and you look to build on this once next year rolls around.
Absolutely. They clearly made some improvements from to beat GTRA last week, and yeah, they've got some bodies down there and some talent and some enrollment.
Nelson pitches it near side to Crouch. He hesitates, now weaves back towards the right side. Big head of steam for Crouch, and he is across the 25-yard line, tripped up by the ankles by Carter Sink, and there's that shifty running to get the first down.
Well, he almost kept his balance. Carter Sink holding on for dear life, held onto the ankle just long enough for Crouch to lose his balance, but if he stays on his feet, he's off to the end zone here, down 50-7. It wouldn't matter, but there's a lot of pride out there. If you're playing defense at this point in the game, you don't want to be the guy that gives up the touchdown. So good job, Carter Sink, keeping him out of the end zone.
Nelson in the shotgun for North Union on a 1st and 10 from the Bishop Garrigan 23. A gift to Crouch again on the read. Crouch, big hole right side. Crouch bursts across the line to gain, and he scampers out of bounds just outside of the 10-yard line. Picked up 12 on that gain as North Union marches deeper into the Red Power red zone.
Milo giving on the tackle out there. Milo has spent a lot of the season on the sidelines with an injury. Good to see that guy in there, getting some reps there. Other guys in there, you got Jack Muller out there, defensive end. Noah Schaefer's the other defensive end. Woodrow Wells in there at center. And Leo Snyder in the linebacker spot.
Nelson gives to Crouch, hit in the backfield, but shakes out of the tackle, fights his way forward to the 5-yard line, and he is buried under a wall of Golden Bear defenders right there.
Yeah, that was Woodrow in there, got him on the waist, helped bring him down. What else we got there? We said Leo Tilgis is in there. He's making the defensive captain calls. Carson Seidels is playing in there in that linebacker defensive back slot.
Warriors will try to punch it in here before the end of the game. Nelson on the keeper. He runs left side. He's fighting for the goal line. Nelson is going to the end zone, and he broke the plane. The near side official signals touchdown with 7 seconds left, and Nelson is able to get the North Union 2s into the end zone and make it a 50-13 score here to get one final touchdown for the Warriors.
And it was so close. You can watch that on replay. It doesn't matter. It's 50-13, but boy, his knees were going down, and just for the point of pride, those youngsters wanted to keep him out of the end zone. But North Union on the board here late, 7 seconds left. 50-13 is what it could end up as unless this 2-point is successful.
So pending the 2-point try right now as Garrigan's up 50-13. Hutchinson winged up over to the right for North Union. The handoff to Crouch, trying to sprint towards the pylon, and Crouch can jog in for the 2-point try, using that speed to get around the edge and make it 50-15 with 7 seconds left in the fourth. So we'll have one more kickoff here, and then we'll make it official as Garrigan will go to the quarterfinal round for the 3rd year in a row, and it'll be home at Conway Field to take on likely Don Bosco, but we will wait to see, of course, the official word on that. At last check, Don Bosco had the big 25-point lead over Clarksville near the end of the 3rd quarter.
Now, one thing that Don Bosco has and what North Union has and what Bishop Garrigan has is participation in football. It's 8-player. You got to have 8 good players on the field all the time. But that only happens because they have a lot of participation in the sport. Each team's got at least 30 guys in uniform. They have good practices. They build a team over the season. Those are the teams that are usually left standing, unless you're like Remsen St. Mary's last year that just had a stellar class of a few. But Yeah, these programs, Don Bosco, lower in enrollment, I believe, than either of these two teams on the field tonight, but they get a lot of participation.
Here's a little squibber to the right side, onside kick. North Union fighting for it, and the Warriors appear to have recovered at the 38. But the final time is running off the clock here after that kickoff. And Bishop Garrigan's going to put this one in the books. It's a 10-0 record for the Golden Bears, and they cruise in their second playoff game. They will knock off North Union for the second time this season. Final tonight, 50-15, Bishop Garrigan. They are on to the state quarterfinals for the third year in a row, and they continue to have never trailed so far this season. We'll break for a timeout. When we come back, we'll wrap it up with our final thoughts and player of the game right here on Home Country Radio, 98.5 FM and AM 1600.
We've got more sports club members making this broadcast possible on Hometown and Home Country Radio.
Schumacher Well and Water Care. You never know the value of water until the well runs dry.
Lance and Tracy Ludwig, your Channel C dealers in Wesley.
Triple W Livestock of Wesley.
Goshi Custom Cabinets. They'll meet all of your kitchen, countertop, and cabinet needs.
Grand Jeanette Jewelry in Algona. Think inside the box.
Sponsoring this broadcast on Hometown and Home Country Radio. High school sports on Hometown and Home Country Radio, brought to you by these sports boosters.
Dieterine Brothers in Bancroft, farm equipment sales and service.
Al Lobig Marine in Wesley, your authorized Mercury Repower Center dealer.
Johnny's Bar and Grill in Wesley. Come for the food, stay for the fun.
Jumbo's Liquor in Wesley, everything you need for a good time.
Arndorfer Brothers Seed in Bancroft, providing farmers with high performance and strong yields season after season.
Algona Floor Design in downtown Algona. You'll be floored by their selection.
Miller's Bar and Grill, where sip by sip, bite by bite, you'll create memories.
All sponsors of this game broadcast.
At North Iowa Appliance Center, they know how important your appliances are, and when something breaks down, you want it fixed right away. Their service team works hard to keep up with the demand, but sometimes that means a short wait while they make sure every repair is done right and they get the parts they need. They appreciate your patience and promise it's worth the wait for quality local service you can trust. North Iowa Appliance Center, Highway 18 East in Algona, where they sell the best and service the rest. Carrying Maytag, KitchenAid, Whirlpool, and Amana.
Back here at Conway Field from Bishop Garrigan High School, the Golden Bears are on to the state quarterfinal once again. They defeat North Union tonight, 50-15. Likely to play Don Bosco on Thursday night, as Don Bosco now leads 56-24 over Clarksville in the fourth quarter of that matchup. Again, I'm Tyler Lance alongside Beanie Bodie. Beanie, what can you say about the Golden Bears? But they follow the same formula once again. They get out to the early lead, a really good start, really established that run game early on. It made things tough for North Union offensively to try to rally from behind against this stingy defense. The pass rush was great. Garrigan forced 2 turnovers, and overall tonight, they really ended up enforcing their will and dominating tonight to pick up the win.
Very well said, Tyler. Enforcing their will is right. They're such a solid team at every position, and sometimes 2, even 3 deep at a position, which is rare for an 8-player team. North Union, hats off to them. They've got some talent and some size and some skill over there as well. And they've got a good, bright future in front of them. You saw that all the way to the very final horn there as Crouch ran that 2-point conversion in there with ease. So North Union just accepts their trophy for playoffs, and a nice little ceremony on the field. The Bears line up at attention, and a nice round of applause from the Bears to their opponent. But the Bears move on. But you're right, Tyler. Dominance by the Bishop Garrigan team, solid foundation built over the years, is paying off big time as this team goes forward. And stellar play as always from a few individuals, but really team effort tonight.
Yeah, the Golden Bears celebrate on the field right now, and I think that's a perfect way to say it, because it seems like the wealth was spread around as far as credit tonight, both offensively and defensively. But I want to start with what Bishop Garrigan did to limit the North Union run game. That is the old coach talking point, and really it's for a good reason. We've got to run the ball, and we've got to stop the run to win this game. And that's been the formula all year long for Bishop Garrigan. You look at the opposing run games, most of the teams that face Garrigan, they average only 2 yards, 2.5 yards per carry, and it was the same story tonight. You're facing a really good running back of Draven Keeler. You could argue that he is probably the best running back that Garrigan has faced so far this season, and they've limited him twice this year. The first time in the regular season, they held him to a very modest game, I should say, of 25 yards the first time these two teams met. And I don't have the official final numbers here tonight, but likely not a lot more in this one either. Garrigan's just very physical up front. They win the war in the trenches, and then North Union, when they saw the middle wasn't working, they tried to run outside quite a bit, but great job setting the edge by really all the Garrigan players.
Yeah, for sure. That defensive end play for Bishop Garrigan is fantastic at setting the edge, and the linebacker play stellar as always. And, if you're a running back for any team in football, you're always going to give credit to your linemen for the great days you have where you're ripping off yards like Keeler did last week against GTRA. And when you're not having a great game, then you go home and tell mom and dad that I just didn't get the blocks. But you got to give credit to the Garrigan line on both sides of the ball because that's where it started. If the D line for Garrigan wasn't so dominant, then Keeler would have been ripping off giant chunks of yards and he would have had hundreds of yards tonight. But the defensive line for Garrigan not only does a nice job taking on the blocks and fighting off the blocks to make tackles, but they are so good at communicating. This team fills all the gaps. They all do their job, and so you rarely see a breakdown where a player gets out in the open without some Bishop Garrigan player being in the vicinity, because they really do a nice job of doing all their jobs and not trying to do too much. And it's good team defense, good team concept at play.
And beating on the offensive side of the ball for Bishop Garrigan, of course, a lot of credit goes to the running game. Good games being had by Ethan Marceau and C.J. McGregor, but I think even more credit goes to the blockers. Bishop Garrigan had so many guys down the field blocking today, getting into the second level. They are blocking all the way to the whistle. There's not a point where you say, all right, Ethan Marceau's 10 yards past the line of scrimmage, I'm done blocking. These guys, really, all 7 guys who don't have the ball, they are blocking all the way for the end of the play, and that just makes things tough defensively to really get a clean hit off of someone like Ethan Marceau or C.J. McGregor.
Yeah, especially when you're up by 30 points. Sometimes the tendency is, if you're an offensive lineman, to just kind of, just let this happen. But the Garrigan offensive line was blocking all the way through. And part of that is because of the leadership of Ethan Marceau. When you know that senior captain, he's nothing but demanding and encouraging all the way, and you don't want to let that guy down. So he's going to run right up your back as well. If you're not making a block, he's going to run you over as well. So you better be blocking, you better be moving, because Marceau's coming behind you. And that is fun to watch if you're a lover of the game of football. Got to come out and watch these Bears. It's old school. Like you said, Tyler, North Union has to start chucking the ball around because their running game wasn't working. You might be okay with seeing that on Sunday. If the quarterback for your team starts throwing the ball around early, you're okay with that because it's the professional game. But in high school football, you want to see your team go out and be able to run the ball.
You certainly do. And for North Union, obviously the season comes to an end tonight in the second round of the postseason, but you look ahead to the future. You have a junior quarterback who's coming back, Cooper Hoy, that electric tight end, he's coming back. Carson Crouch, another really good player, he's a sophomore coming back. So there's going to be some big graduations. Draven Keeler is not going to be easy to replace. Neither is Cale Jones. But you look at the Warriors, they still have some really good pieces coming back. And then, of course, that depth, 30-plus guys on the roster. So there are some guys on that team waiting their turn and looking to lead the Warriors back to the postseason and even further next year.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what they have that at least they're demonstrating on the field right now. I don't know the Warriors very well at all, but they're doing a nice little hug line, handshake line. They're congratulating each other. That shows they've got camaraderie, they've got team spirit, they've got respect for each other, and those are crucial if you're going to build a program, because there's many teams around the state, players and coaches, that'll tell you, boy, we thought we had everything we needed, but they might not have had that team unity, and that's everything sometimes.
All right, well, Garrigan fans, get ready for Don Bosco on Thursday night, because barring the miracle of all miracles, the Dons are going to win against Clarksville 63-24, our most recent update in that one with about 5 minutes left to go. So Bishop Garrigan, again, it is Thursday night, not Friday night for the next game here at Conway Field. It'll be a 7 o'clock kickoff as Don Bosco is going to be coming to town, and 2 top 10 ranked teams in the state, Beanie. Like we always say, it gets a little tougher each week of the playoffs, and Don Bosco, they are not going to be an easy out for this Golden Bear team.
Yeah, and Garrigan should be wary of that, because 2 years ago, Garrigan was that team. Not really ranked very high, or if at all, and then they knocked off 3 ranked teams on their way to a state championship. So Garrigan should be very wary of a team like the Dons coming to Conway Field. No slouch, a great pedigree, history there of winning tradition at Don Bosco. And I believe their mascot is the Dons.
The Dons, yeah.
Dons. What is that? You're from Cleveland, the land of mascots that we need to get rid of. Is that? Can you be the Dons? Is that? What is a Don?
To be honest, I'm going to have to do my research.
We're going to research this before.
It's going to be a big week of prep for me, folks.
That's right.
One less, I don't even have 7 days. I've got 6 days to get ready, so I'm going to be on it right now, trying to find out what exactly a Don is. But you and I will both know by the time this game kicks off on Thursday.
We will let you know all about it by Thursday. You're going to have to do your research. You might not even have time to do your 40-mile runs.
Yeah, we might have to shorten it down to 39 miles this week. All right, folks. Well, like I said, Bishop Garrigan will play on Thursday night. We'll have coverage here on KLGZ and on the Algona Radio YouTube stream as we have one final thing to do for tonight. That's our Erpelding Voigt & Company Player of the Game.
Erpelding Voigt & Company CPAs has a simple philosophy about the way they approach their business. Put people before the numbers. Before they can help you plan for a better financial future, they must have a thorough understanding of where you've been and where you want to go. They listen, then ask the important questions to build long-lasting relationships with their clients. They promise to know you and help you. Erpelding Voigt & Company CPAs. They're more than just taxes.
It's time to award our Player of the Game, brought to you by Erpelding Voigt & Company CPAs. As each week, we choose the Golden Bear who really stood out on the gridiron and helped their team in this effort. Well, Beanie, maybe I should have been Santa for Halloween here instead of Brent Musburger because it's the season of giving. I've been giving out multiple Players of the Game a lot of times this year just because it's so hard to choose just one guy of how well Garrigan's playing. You and I talked, Beanie. We're giving out 3 for tonight. It's the whole Garrigan offensive line, Carter Schwab, Caden Graves, and Nate Lear. Triple Players of the Game for tonight because, frankly, I think one of the big concerns when you play North Union, they're one of the few teams that has the same sort of size Garrigan has, some really good physicality up front, but I thought the Garrigan offensive line, they consistently won tonight and opened up the running lanes.
Yeah, that was the thing the coaches were wary of coming into this game against North Union. That is a well-respected line that North Union has, big boys, and the Garrigan offensive line did the job tonight, the job they needed to do, the job they had to do, because it was the line play of North Union that was gonna be the thing that won it for them. Instead, the Bishop Garrigan offensive line really sets the tone in that first quarter. After North Union turns it over on their first possession, that Garrigan offensive line went right to work and just made a universal announcement to everyone here that the Bears were going to do business as usual as they marched the ball down the field behind the running game behind that offensive line.
And you've got to be a little nimble at the guard spots, too. Bishop Garrigan loves to pull those guards, so Carter Schwab and Nate Lear, they can't just fire off the ball, of course. They're very good at doing that, but they've got to be mobile as well, getting out there on the edge. And, of course, Caden Graves at center, giving those hard snaps back to Tate Furch and catching a 2-point conversion as well. But those 3 guys up front, really all 3 of them made a big impact here tonight. They kept their quarterback's jersey clean. They opened up the big holes for Marceau, and this Bishop Garrigan ground game really got clicking because of that.
Yeah, those boys are the upperclassmen. This is the point of the season. They want it. They want to prove it. They want to earn it. They want to show the world that they're gonna get her done, and they definitely did tonight. Now you may be saying, well, what about the tight ends? They do a lot of blocking too. Well, that's for another day. Garrigan's got a host of tight ends they rotate through, but we're talking about those 3 big guys up front. Schwab, Graves, and Lear getting it done. Nice job, you young men, on the Erpelding Voigt & Company Player of the Game.
All right, so there's our triple Player of the Game for tonight as Bishop Garrigan is on to the state quarterfinal round to take on Don Bosco coming up next week. We will sign off for tonight. A big thank you to all our sports club members and video streaming sponsors making this broadcast possible. For my partner, Beanie Bodie, I'm Tyler Lance signing off. This has been a sports production of Home Country Radio KLGZ. Your final score, Bishop Garrigan 50 and North Union 15.